welcome to another episode of XenoChat. I'm Tyler, one of the hosts, along with Justin.
How's it going, guys? And welcome back to another episode.
Alright, and this is our part 2 of getting a newcomer into the Xeno series. But first, let's talk about our returning guests. So we have Nick.
Hey,
Robin.
my body hurts.
And our newest guest, Cilantro.
Yes, I'm the guinea pig. Hi, guys.
Guinea pig.
Sold it.
So, last episode, we basically went into Cilantro's views of the Xeno series and what they thought of Xenogears, Xenosaga, Xenoblade, and prepping them ultimately for the Xenosaga anime. So,
you forgot to mention that was absorbed through just being in this chat for the past 6 months.
this is true.
I came here by accident.
Yeah, it's
And I guess I'm not leaving now.
Nope, it is too late.
I'm in too deep.
practically physically stuck here.
You cannot escape.
You could have left at any moment. Just saying.
But I didn't,
Nope.
because COVID-19.
No.
Yes.
Now all you get to
COVID-19
do-
prevents you from isolating yourself from your social groups on Discord.
Now all
Because
get to
if
do
you
is
if you
complain
join like a new
for the rest of us.
Discord server, you're gonna spread the COVID from the previous Discord server to the new one.
I mean, let's be honest, guys. Without voice chat pretty much every night in March, I'm pretty sure half of us would have lost it.
I mean, yeah, but like, that's not a fun topic.
Moving onward.
Well, what is a fun topic is watching a fun anime like Xenosaga. Am I right?
This
Fun
was
is
a
the
much.
word.
I feel like I should just heads up. This will be a lot more cohesive and coherent than the watch episode.
The watch
Oh,
episode
yeah.
was basically backseat screaming from everybody.
But we kind of just recorded that while we were all just bullshitting in a room anyways.
Mhm.
So I think it was kind of understood that it wasn't going to be coherent.
No,
This
I
time
mean
we're
not that
actually
one.
being-
I mean like when we were actually watching it, it was basically everybody backseat screaming.
Mm.
Oh no, I was talking about our official episode,
Yeah.
which was still backseat screaming.
It was fun, though.
It was
It was
fun.
fun.
It was a blast to record. Horrible
yeah,
to
that.
listen to.
Should we redo this whole segment?
No, we keep going.
We
Okay.
powered through this.
Too late to take it back now.
Alright.
All right. So before we get into that, let's talk about some news. There's not a whole lot of news. I know some of us started getting our Cosmos figures in the mail. Mine is still on its way, but I know Tyler got his, HK got hers. I think Nick also got his too, and
Yeah,
so did David.
Yes.
I looked outside my spaceship and she was tapping on my window, threatening to break in. So yeah, I got it. I had to bring her in.
God, she is
So what?
just gorgeous. My God.
I was gonna say, what do you guys think of it? Like the build quality and all the details on it, because it looks beautiful from pictures, but I can only imagine what it looks like actually having her.
The details are amazing. Like, there's some writing on her that I swear whoever did art in the Book of Tales probably put on there, because I've not seen much words that were actually words printed on a thing.
Yeah,
that
it's so
small.
yeah, it's so tiny, but you can still read it out. It's impressive, the detail that they went through.
That's awesome. And I love that they keep making these. I know we got the Melia one coming in the near future, and I cannot wait to see what they do with that too.
I'm definitely can't wait to see what the mold looks like.
Is there any weird writing on the box? I remember this when the Siren kit came out, there was weird lore that was on the box.
That was I think that was actually an insert for that box, if I remember correctly. Which, I mean, I have it, so I could look at it, really.
Yeah, I didn't see any kind of strange writing on the box. I mean, it's actually a beautiful box. It's kind of, I don't want to throw it away because it's actually a beautiful box, but no, there wasn't any type of writing or lore or anything on it.
I already have a big enough problem throwing away my boxes, so
Oh yeah, and that's always a pain in the ass. I like to keep boxes for figures because like it's good to keep the extra parts, especially for Nendoroids. But I know for some of those bigger figures, those boxes are huge and they can take up a lot of space.
Yeah, I'm looking at it again. There doesn't seem to be anything like, and there doesn't seem to be any like little Easter egg kind of writings or anything I can figure out on the box. It's pretty cool pictures, but a couple of warnings, stuff like that.
Deep new Cosmos lore.
Yes.
But she does have it. You can swap out her visor, and I haven't done that yet. But
I haven't either. I love the visor switch, especially since the visor actually has like the eye on it. Kind of reminds me of like the Zohar eye from Gears. But I just like her face is too pretty. I want to keep it that way for a little while.
Exactly. She's got a pretty face.
So what accessories do you get again? Is it just the visor and the 2 Zohar guns?
The Zohar guns don't actually even come off of her arms. Like they're
they're attached to her.
Oh, they're attached.
Hands.
Oh,
yeah. Like you can tell they're kind of like you can tell they were molded separately, but they are stuck there. You would break the figure trying to pull them off.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Yeah, that was one of the things I was concerned with because I figured like if you could detach them, I wonder if it was easy to just break the arm.
You can detach the arms a lot easier than you can detach the gun. One thing that I did find interesting that I didn't even think about, like in the in-game art, was that those guns. There's not like a left-handed and a right-handed one. They're kind of they definitely have one side that has like a outstanding part that is facing a direction, and they both face the same direction. So it's not like the left-handed one has this part facing inward and the right-handed one has this part facing inward too. It's like they both have it facing the same direction. And I was like, I did not even see that nor consider that being a thing.
So if she dropped her guns and mixed them up, she could just pick them up without having to figure out this is the left one, this is the right one.
Pretty much. Although I think she could technically like flip one over. I don't know. It looks like they have handles on both sides anyway, so.
Well, we can figure that one out for another episode.
Yeah. Deep lore episode. Which way does the Zohar gun face?
Alright, and at the time of this recording, Molotov, well, I think it was yesterday specifically, or maybe the day before, Molotov turned 21 years old.
It was on the 1st, so 2
okay,
days ago.
thank you. Happy birthday.
So they can legally drink in the U.S. Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
They could get a Bartweiser.
Yeah.
Now they can be the boozers.
Bonsai.
Old enough to get into the Iron Man bar.
Well, on that note, we can segue into the main topic, which is, well, we all rewatched the Xenosaga anime, and we watched it with Cilantro. So Cilantro got to see the anime. They've never played Saga, but this is really the first time they're exposed to Saga beyond just hearing us talk about it through the Discord.
That one time where I got to watch the ending of episode 3 with no context.
Yes. So other than those, Cilantro didn't really know quite what they were getting themselves into by watching this, and it's been a time. It was the first time I've watched the anime in years. At least not in full. Yes, we had the Katsucon party, but I don't remember anything that happened that night, and I don't think anybody else does either.
That was actually my first time. I remember seeing the whole thing.
Really?
Oh. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It was. I only saw the first 2 episodes of the Katsucon party.
Oh, no way!
Yeah, that was actually my first time watching it too. And let me tell you, wait, that anime was about Xenosaga?
That is a very valid thing to say. It's. Yeah, I don't know what the hell to say about that anime. It's just there's so much about it that just makes me facepalm.
Yeah.
And that's with being somebody who has context for it. So I'm sure you can all imagine how Cilantro felt watching these episodes.
Beyond all of the screaming.
How
gosh.
did you feel?
Remember the morning after we had all of that ridiculous anime drama after the 12th episode? I wrote, "Hey, remember how disappointed you felt?" I think the only anime that's ever done that to me was that one time where I got Record of Lodoss War from one of my parents who found it miraculously in a library sale for $5. I watched that whole anime when I was 12. I had no context for it, and by the time I got to the end, I'm like, what the fuck just happened here? There was no introduction of terms, there was barely any introduction of characters. The plot line abruptly ended at episode 15 and then went off in a completely different direction, and then it ended with no conclusion. I felt ripped off.
Sounds like a D&D game.
That's actually pretty much what happened. I went to look it up later, and then I realized, hey, wait a minute, the anime that my parent got me was actually technically the anime that finished the previous anime that I haven't actually watched. So it's like the unofficial season 2, so I watched season 2 of Record of Lodoss War with no context, and so I'm not surprised that I was so disappointed by how anticlimactic it was. Xenosaga I was disappointed by for slightly different reasons, but mostly boiling down to the same. No introduction of characters worth a damn, no definition of terms, just plowing through plot points without actually taking a breath to be like, hey, this is why it's significant. The character arcs, what character arcs? There were no character arcs, we just saw people doing stuff in a fixed amount of time. If they really wanted this anime to do something, they needed to figure out who their audience was and tailor that particular plot line to fit something a lot larger than the space they were given. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah.
To me, I was kind of thinking like, oh, this is like connect the dots exposition drops of things that you need to read a lot of external or, play a lot of external stuff to even understand the start of.
No, that would be the live-action version of a Full Metal Alchemist anime.
Which I have not watched, so I don't know.
Don't! It's bad.
I've not watched the live action. I should say I've watched the anime. I love that anime, but I've not watched the live action version.
The live-action version is attempting to do all 200 chapters in the span of 90 minutes.
Wow,
That sounds terrible. So just kind of a slight aside, I know we had said, no, we don't want to read the episode synopses. I'm reading the episode synopses, and I'm going to disagree with you that you really want to hear these.
Oh.
Is it better than my episode synopsis that I gave over dinner?
It's different, but I just think we should take a moment to appreciate what it says on Wikipedia for the episode synopsis.
Okay, go for it.
So I think as we go, we should do that, but I will wait till we are ready to get into that aspect of it. Unless we are.
You can read the episode synopses.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I'll start with episode 1, of course. For 4,000 years after the origin of the Earth was abandoned, humankind was at stake because of the appearance of the unknown entity Gnosis. Veterinary cruiser Volinde, a member of the Federation of Star Clusters, boarded by engineer Shion Uzuki, collects a mysterious object called Zohar. Unfortunately, it was nothing but an act of summoning Gnostic.
What?
While the fleet was devastatingly destroyed by the Gnosis attack, the android Cosmos for battle was launched without any command. Okay, so what was your take on episode 1?
My take on that Wikipedia summary is that somebody rammed the MT engine onto it and never allowed anybody to post-edit, because that was bad.
Yeah, I'm curious about the Volinde.
Hearing that.
VAUX space LINDE.
Yeah, I was just about to ask, was that like an official summary? Because that doesn't even sound...
That was the summary that I got off of
It
Wikipedia.
sounded like a summary you would have read off of English.com.
Or
Yeah.
Google
Yeah.
Translate.
Well, somebody's got to go on Wikipedia and fix that.
I'm curious
heard that,
what
viewers?
it says on the
That's-
Japanese
you
page,
know what you
because
gotta
I'm
do
pretty
now.
sure they just copy-pasted it and just threw it through whatever MT engine was free.
I'm gonna have to assume so, but there are some later things that are like, what?
Oh gosh, it gets better.
Anyway, so...
Or rather worse.
Now it just continues to be amusing. I think it stays the same, really.
Oh god.
So, did you have any takeaways from episode 1?
Besides the fact that we had, well, we went over my major point, which was they never defined any terms.
Right.
Also, the quintessential boob window was missing on Cosmos Mark 1. And the random scribble here that says, "Where's the Y-fish?" That may not be relevant for a while. Would you like me to do the whole show summary instead?
Yeah, if you want to do the whole show summary. Again, it was just like, I was looking at these summaries like, these have to be vocalized.
Oh,
I was
gosh.
looking forward
So
to
that's the only reason I was doing this.
12 episodes of this breakdown.
Well, one of the
Okay.
things that, but before you get into that, like, one of the things that we did also explain to Cilantro was that they do change the story significantly, especially early on, because obviously, like, Virgil lives a lot longer than he was supposed to. And that alone already screws up a lot of what the show is trying to do. And I remember, like, watching the first 6 episodes, it's just trying to go in its own direction. And then once we got to, like, the second half of it, that's when things really just got out of hand. What's up?
I was just going to say, can I just say something about Virgil real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so earlier we were talking about how nobody got a character arc in this. I think if anybody got close, it was probably him, from what I recall.
Ironically enough, yeah, I would
Weird.
actually agree with that. Because they threw him into so many scenes that he was just not even supposed to be in.
Isn't he supposed to be dead?
He was supposed to be dead right at the beginning.
So then what were they doing?
They killed him off in like a big damn heroes moment or something, although even...
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just one of the things that this anime does that just is wrong.
Yeah, they killed off Cherenkov too early. Sorry, Kat.
They killed off Cherenkov way too early. And,
He has no character arc then.
yeah. They killed him off. They showed events out of order, too.
They gratuitously used flashbacks to events that were probably cut.
I would say that's likely. Yeah.
And
Sorry, I did like
No, you can go
how
on.
they made Kirschwasser more of a character than they did in the game, but that was probably one of the few things I actually liked.
Yeah, I agree with that. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah, that was a nice little add-on. I forgot was that one of the things that they did actually carry over to Xenosaga 1 and 2 on the DS?
Maybe? I'm not certain.
I couldn't tell you that, because I've actually never played that version of it.
I mean, I certainly
I've
haven't
only played
either,
like
but
5 minutes
let
in,
me-
so I couldn't tell you.
Let me do the fun thing where I just go look at Wikipedia and ask them.
How about you guys just make that your homework for the next assignment?
Yeah, I mean, I actually wouldn't mind getting my hands on a copy and
It's
doing a playthrough. It's
actually
been one of
not
those things
hard.
I've wanted to do for a long time and just never got around to it.
I do have a copy of it. But
I'm pretty sure you could find it for $25 on eBay pretty easily still.
Yeah, I don't even think it's that expensive or that rare for that matter.
Oh, it's not like I got it. I saw a few listings for around $25 to $30 on eBay, and it was new. It was new copies. So
Mm.
Oh, that's surprising.
Yeah, that actually is. Wow.
Okay. Should I move on to episodes 2's description?
sure.
Sure.
Okay. Shion is attacked by Gnosis on the cruiser Valklinde. The one that saved the crisis was Cosmos, where Shion was the chief development officer.
oh yes, that one.
However,
I said,
Oh,
oh
go
yes,
on.
that one.
However, Cosmos tries to secure Zohar according to a mysterious command that even Shion does not know. Because of this, Zohar was taken away by Gnostic, and Valklinde sank. Shion barely succeeds in escaping and later encountering a young man named Chaos. On the other hand, Cosmos was in contact with Elsa, a passenger ship that appeared in the air after the end of the battle for the remains.
I'm amazed that Chaos's name was spoken in the synopsis and wasn't in the show at that point.
Yeah. That was one of the things that we all noticed, that like Chaos would appear in scenes, he would even speak, and nobody would refer to him by name. It was every character except Chaos.
According to my notes here, it took 10 minutes into episode 5 for them to actually name him.
Hey, you, do the thing.
That is ridiculous.
They kind of they rarely even addressed him. He kind of was just like the guy in corner.
Yeah, he would just kind of talk. So, like, if you didn't know who Chaos was, you'd be like, oh, who the hell is this dude?
He looks important. Does he have a name? Did I just miss it?
I'm pretty sure they cut the episode, or rather the episode segment where his name was actually dropped in episode 2. They cut so much stuff.
It's just a weird thing to cut. Do you have any notes specific to episode 2 before I move on? Because I'm really excited to read the description for episode 4.
Oh my, I'm looking at these descriptions. Wow. What the hell's with the spelling for all of this?
Oh,
They spell Chaos's name wrong,
Headphone jacks
too.
and flip phones are the pinnacle of technology. Albedo does paperwork.
Albedo okay, wait, what?
Albedo does paperwork.
Albedo does paperwork.
I don't remember Albedo doing any paperwork. Ever.
These taxes are glorious.
I'd read that fic.
Okay.
Flip phones.
Well, when's your birthday? Because then you can have it.
I love that you make
I'll write you. Albedo does his taxes. The fic.
I love that you have a note on the flip phones. It's always fun when you're watching, like, older anime or older movies, and you could just, like, tell when this was made just by, like, the kind of cell phones they're using.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't flip phones more popular in Japan?
The pinnacle of technology in 4,000 years from now should not be the flip phone.
But I'm just saying, if you are a person who likes the flip phone, wouldn't you like to think that in the future they'll still have a flip phone?
Yeah.
You
They
still
still
like
had flip phones in the original series of Star Trek. That's why we have flip phones at all.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're
So
also
if
you're
you
also
think
writing
about
a
it,
story
without
in, like,
Star
early
Trek,
to
we would never
2000s,
have
so
Xenosaga.
yeah.
It's a retro bunny version. I don't know.
Because that's, like, one of the things with, like, sci-fi that's always funny is that it's in the future, but yet it's still tied to technology of the era it was made in. Mm-hmm. So that's why, like, you'll see, like, 80s movies about, like, sci-fi stuff when they still have CRTs.
That's
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
degree of sci-fi that is, though, is, like, one of those sci-fi things that I think about where it's like, okay, that was, like, 2,000 years ago. We don't pick up stuff from, like, ancient Mesopotamia and say, oh, look at this, isn't it cool? It's retro.
It reminds me in Harlock SSX, there's, like, a newspaper planet, and they get, like, faxes, and it's like, that's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is it? There was a great meme that was showing... It says, remember when floppy disk could save or destroy the world? It's just a bunch of people holding old floppy disk, you know?
Oh, the last note that I have for episode 2 is Chaos looks indistinguishable from random 100 series Reliant from episode 1.
Oh my gosh.
What was her name?
he
You
looked
guys
a
have
little
said
different.
it.
Kirschwasser. It's Kirschwasser.
I'm never gonna remember this.
Okay, well, you know the German word for cherry,
No.
right? Kirsch. And then you know the German word for water, Wasser. So you just put it together and you get
Kirschwasser.
Kirschwasser.
Budweiser.
Kirschwasser.
No, it's Braunschweiger. Anyway.
Episode 3. Cosmos uses force to stop the cargo passenger ship Elsa and board the cargo bay. At some point, the passenger cyborg Ziggy was attacked. Shion, who was also recovered, stops, but Ziggy and his protected Momo strangely were destined for the
His
second
protected
Mercia,
Momo.
same as Cosmos. Because all of them have the same interest, Elsa rushes into hyperspace, aiming for the Miltia solar system. But soon a mysterious armed battleship attacked there.
I feel like I've just been told to protect my momos.
Oh, and by the way, Miltia is spelled Milcia.
I think that was quite
Wait,
obvious
hold on.
in my vocalization.
They spell Miltia in 2 different ways in this.
Yep.
It's spelled
There's one where they say Mercia, and then there's another one that says
they
Milcia.
also, in the previous one, Volklinde, in the first time they write that, doesn't have an H, and then the second time, it does. I don't know. Any notes for episode 3?
I have a whole page of them, actually, and I'm not quite
Oh,
sure
geez,
what half of them refer to.
Okay, this is exciting, then.
The suspense is killing me.
Frick.
Oh, did your mic cut
My
out?
mic cut out for a moment there. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Let's...
Yeah, because I could hear you talking, but I couldn't hear you talking.
Okay, the first note at the top of this page is a quote from somebody else who was watching with us. It says, Matthews is the anti-Bishonen. I don't understand what that means, but it sounded really quotable.
That was from Aaron, right?
Yeah, that was from Fish.
I feel that. I understand, I think.
I don't remember what that was.
He has, like, a beer gut. He's mean.
He's got a very, squared up face.
Yeah,
like,
no,
he's not,
well, everyone...
chiseled face man with, cute facial features or anything.
I was going to say, he's very chiseled
face.
He's not very soft face.
Not soft face, my bad.
Yeah.
Words mixed up.
Okay,
so
what else?
Anti-Bishonen.
Okay,
Go ahead.
why are Cosmos and Ziggy fighting in Ziggy's introduction?
A question that we all have,
actually
yes.
kind of
Yeah,
like
that's
that fight, the animation wise.
It's a nice fight scene, but why is it there?
Exactly.
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense, but it's pretty.
They wanted a fight
All the
scene.
Relians have same face syndrome because they're all Momo clones.
Yeah, so it's justified same face syndrome.
Yeah. I think one of you screamed Margulis's face was toned down. Why does Albedo have talons in his gloves?
That was probably me complaining about the talons in the gloves.
I thought Albedo...
That sounds like a very me complaint.
Doesn't Albedo have that in the games too, though?
I think he shouldn't have it ever.
Okay.
I don't think it makes sense.
I mean...
It doesn't.
What part of his costume does make sense? I'm going to call completely rule of cool on that one.
I'm going to say the part where he has a cape makes perfect sense.
Yes.
There we go.
You didn't try to make the pants, so...
I didn't. I'm so sorry that you did.
It's okay.
Okay.
Didn't you wind up using, yoga pants or something? Like that sort of stretchy fabric?
Well, I mean, I printed the design, but I had to make the design, so it was still kind of rough.
Also,
yeah.
All of the 100 series are eternal babies. Question mark, exclamation point.
Yes, that's correct. Including the question marks and exclamation point.
Okay. Parenthesis, we skipped kid cuisine. I don't know what that refers to.
That's a bit of
that
an...
refers to that we skipped the kid cuisine.
Yeah, that's a bit of an inside joke among us. There's... So, in the game, there's a scene where, Momo is held captive, and then Margulis comes in and brings her food, and because it's, early PS2, the graphics are all shitty, and it all looks, super blocky, and I was watching that cutscene, and for some reason, it just looked really funny to me, so I'm just like, what the fuck, is he, serving our kid cuisine in here? And then that's always been a meme with us since.
Yeah, because he says, is the food not satisfactory? And so the joke is, of course, Margulis can't cook. He just probably tried to microwave a kid cuisine.
It's basically the Xenosaga version of the sandwich, if the Shulk doesn't bite the sandwich joke from Xenoblade, where it's just this is a blocky piece of thing that's supposed to be food, so it looks like...
No, but seriously, those of you listening, rewatch that cutscene and let me know what you think of the food that he gives Momo.
I mean, I think everything had a slightly gray overlay that also made it a bit worse.
Yeah. That whole scene is just so funny. Unintentionally funny.
Let's see what else we got here. They clearly spent all the budget on hyperspace. Which would probably make more sense.
Sure they spent all the budgets on modeling the Gnosis again.
You mean the Dicknosis?
Well, all of them, including the Dicknosis.
Why did they make a Dicknosis?
Because it was in the game.
Why?
Well,
why not?
They had to counteract the number of butt shots, so for balance reasons, they included the Dicknosis.
Of course, and
honestly, it was probably some kind of H.R. Geiger inspiration or something. Just a guess.
My brain is already starting to leak out my ears. Okay, I have one note here that I'm actually not quite sure what it refers to at all. But considering we watched this almost a month ago, I need a little help.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
What is titty stab?
Oh, I know this one. Okay, so it's not referring to a titty
Nick.
being stabbed. It's referring to that blade that comes out of Cosmos' chest. I'm pretty sure, right? Isn't that what it is?
That is a thing, but that's not a thing till 3,
Yeah.
so I don't think it's
I
that.
thought they did it in the show, though. Like, I think they did
don't
it
think
early.
so.
Oh, okay, maybe not.
I don't believe so.
Well, I can't imagine what else titty stab means other than a boob knife or somebody actually getting stabbed in the titty.
Well, I guess we have to watch episode 3
Did
again.
they give Ziggy a boob knife? I can't remember.
No.
Did Ziggy get stabbed?
Did we make a comment about how his tits could sharpen a knife? I don't
Could
know.
be.
All
I mean,
valid.
that sounds completely feasible to me.
That sounds like a thing we'd say.
Yes.
And in extra large, really sloppy handwriting, this says at the bottom, so this whole thing is just corporate wars?
Yeah, I'd say that holds up for the actual game as well.
Yeah.
At that point.
It seems like a
point.
lot of, media in general these days, like in the past, I would say 10 to 20 years, is mostly boils down to the antagonist being either the government or somebody from corporate. You get one or the other. And so, since, Gears and what I know of Blade tends to mostly be, government/overseer, because in Blade it was literally God.
In the far distant future.
I feel like equating God and government just leads to badness.
Well, okay, in Gears it was government, in Blade it was God. So I guess Saga is like, okay, I guess we need a corporate enemy. So they made it Corporate Wars. So everything that Cosmos has done up to this point has been to protect corporate property.
Cosmos
How
is corporate
she-
property.
Yes, but she's also protecting corporate property, aka personnel.
Yeah.
So,
Is that it for 3?
yeah, this is all Corporate Wars.
Okay.
Yeah, again, I think fair assessment of the first game in general.
That
yeah.
reminds me of, like, that just every 80s sci-fi movie where it's like, in the future, where the world is ruled by corporations, unlike today, where they aren't.
I don't understand how
In the
Cosmos...
future, we get cool visors.
How Cosmos decided that kidnapping a truck... Okay, basically a bunch of truckers. And then driving them into the heart of the enemy camp was a good idea. That it does not protect corporate property.
Well, maybe you have her goals wrong.
She wanted the Zohar.
I mean, I was going to bring up something, but I think that's just an in-game thing, so I'm just going to let that go.
Alright, sure, we'll come back when I've finished, 200 hours of Xenosaga.
Yeah, something like
I mean,
that.
we could-
Are you counting the cutscenes as game time? Because then, yeah.
We can talk about that part as soon as the end of the first Xenosaga, so that's fine.
Alright, I'll come back when I finish Xenosaga.
Okay. All right. So we good for episode 4?
Okay, episode 4. The mission of Ziggy, who belongs to the Star Federation, is to recapture the Peaches abducted by the Utic Institution and send them to the second Milcia.
Wait, what?
The battleship that... Yes, to get the Peaches!
Buzz Lightyear of Star Command was...
The battleship that attacked Elsa was also of the Utic organization. Elsa escapes the crisis by using the technique of Tony the Helmsman. Afterwards, Cosmos senses the presence of Zohar and is gated out in front of the Gnostic group. Giant battleship Durandal comes to the rescue, but Elsa is cornered in front of 30,000 Gnosis.
I was really hoping you were going to say Tony the Hedgehog.
Unfortunately, no, he's a helmsman. But Ziggy had to rescue the Peaches.
Just a bag of peaches.
What is this, Animal Crossing?
Yes.
How did this stay on? How did this?
I'm just...
What?
I don't know how nobody ever edited this.
That's what I'm saying. Like, nobody saw this and was just like, "This is wrong," or maybe someone just did it just to troll. Maybe Pure did it just to mess with the community.
we see you, Pure, fucking up our wiki.
Yeah, go Sox.
And we lost a viewer.
Sorry,
Excellent.
that was a very specific Pure joke.
I know exactly what you're trying to do, and this is how Pure never comes back onto the podcast.
Sorry, I don't mean it.
You can't,
I don't give a
you
shit
can't
about
have
it.
me and Pure on the same episode because I am fundamentally against the socks.
No, that's part of it.
I have to be. It's regional loyalty.
Good, you'd get along with him great then.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Exactly.
That's the opposite of a problem. But please tell me about episode 4.
Okay, apparently, Ziggy's backstory is an organ donor call-out post. I don't know what this refers to.
I think they covered this in the anime, so, but basically he signed up to be an organ donor, and then when he died, they said, excellent, we'll take all of your organs and your body and put you back into a life.
In the game, it amounted to
so
an excellent
be careful.
one-liner.
Be careful if you donate organs, they might undo your death.
Yikes.
So that might be what it's referring to.
Okay, we have, Junior is, Junior is the shonen protagonist that Juju strives to be.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
Apparently they need all the baby 100 bots in order to make the gnosis tangible.
Or one Cosmos.
I mean, all of the 100 bots are, like, we've established, they're eternal baby.
Oh, okay, now I follow. Okay, yeah.
I have one last, actually almost coherent note here that says Cosmos has normal feet and not hooves and heels.
Oh.
What? Is that a thing?
I have a question called, why are you looking at her feet?
Because they have a decent shot of her feet when she's standing on top of the Elsa and firing the vagina cannon.
You're not secretly Quentin Tarantino then. Okay, good.
Are you
No, I am
sure
not
that you are
Quentin
thinking about
Tarantino.
Chobits?
Okay, Chobits is a separate discussion, and I have a lot of things to say about Chobits, but that is not this podcast.
Oh no, what do we do?
No, this is the
So-
Chobits podcast now.
Can you tell me about the vagina cannon?
Yeah, let's hear
Is
about
it
this
located
vagina cannon.
in or near her vagina?
Okay, we're talking
Where-
about
wh-
Chobits. I think that was a bomb.
I want to know what kind of anatomy we're talking about here.
I believe you.
I don't remember any scene where Cosmos spreads her legs and fires
Yeah.
the cannon, is what I'm getting at.
I get what the reference is, but I mean, that's her stomach.
What you guys said was the X-Buster cannon is not supposed to look as organic as it does in the anime.
Nah, it's not.
Yeah, I don't remember looking as Ionic.
I don't think C-section cannon would even be an accurate description of that.
I don't think it's I think it's too high for a C-section
I
cannon.
think you're right.
Yeah, it's definitely not there.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's like right where her six-pack is
So-
supposed to be.
Yeah, it's like right. It's in her abs.
Yeah, that should. If you get a
It's an
C-section
ab
there,
cannon.
your doctor fucked up.
If you guys had abs, you would actually know they can just do that.
Sorry, we're all out of shape.
Don't worry, me too. I've never had abs.
What the fuck are abs?
What are you, all just cephalopods?
I was gonna say the only six-pack I've had is in my fridge.
Maybe we all want to be
Episode
cephalopods,
5.
yes.
Was that it for episode 4?
And the last note was, hey, let's summarize this anime in, let's take all the game cutscenes together and fuck it! Yeah, not really.
Yeah, later on they did a little bit of a better job incorporating some of the gameplay, but little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say emphasis on the little bit with that one.
Yeah. Okay, episode 5. Cosmos, which went out into outer space, absorbed tens of thousands of Gnostic groups. Shion is worried about the ability of Cosmos, which she doesn't even know. The damaged Elsa is housed in the giant battleship Durandal. The special foundation, Kukai Foundation, which owns Durandal, was Elsa's employer. The young Foundation director, Junior, Shion and his friends meet. Durandal heads to the Foundation's grounds, the free orbit colony, to repair Elsa.
I think I know which note might come up in this one.
Finally, the bloomin' onion.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was gonna say this is done.
Oh,
Yes.
it makes
Yes.
sense now. Okay, I got you.
Yes, tell us about the bloomin' onion.
Well, you can go down to Outback Steakhouse, and Never mind.
This podcast is not affiliated with Outback Steakhouse.
So tell us about this bloomin' onion. Is it delicious?
Jeez, I hope so, but it looks a lot like another ship that they had in some random cutscene in Xenogears. You know, the flower pot one. The one where somebody makes a really skeezy deal on the side and a whole bunch of executioners are like, yeah, sure, let's do it.
There was only one executioner in Xenogears.
Yeah, I thought there were a bunch of lackeys.
No, just one.
Okay, they all had the same character sprite.
Possibly.
Very similar, at least, if it's the executioner I'm thinking about.
But anyway, this isn't about Xenogears. Or how every time I see Sol 9000, I go, wait, isn't that the ship that they were kept on in Mystery Science Theater 3000? Isn't that the Satellite of Love? Are they being forced to watch cheesy movies?
Is that the Sol 9000 or Sol 3000?
I think that might be the Sol 3000, so this is the evolution of that.
Yes.
Okay.
But that's an issue for Xenogears.
Alright, the notes that I can actually make out, because my handwriting is getting really bad.
I mean, I know I was drinking. I didn't think you were.
No, I was sober this entire time, but my handwriting is really, really bad. It's just like getting progressively worse as the episodes get more convoluted.
I think you just lose sanity as you watch this anime sometimes.
Oh, probably.
You take psychic damage, and it hurts your penmanship.
Pretty much. Somebody's being hacked in air quotes. I can't make out the first word.
I'm going to guess that's computer hacked and not hacked up into pieces with the thing. With like
I
a
don't
machete.
think anybody got hacked up into pieces. No, okay, this was not a point where anybody got... where computer hacking was an issue.
Is this supposed to be Momo?
Momo was not yet getting hacked.
Okay, so I have no idea what this word is then.
And I don't think they did too much foreshadowing to the later point wherein they are in fact doctoring videos. But maybe they did.
They do what now?
That happened, where they doctored the video so it looked... We'll get to that episode in a moment. We just watched this anime.
We watched this anime like 4 weeks ago and have been procrastinating on this particular episode for as long as I've been playing Xenogears. Remember, at the end of that first episode, I'm like, hey, now I can go finally play Xenogears.
Thanks, now we have to cut all that.
So much.
They're not supposed to know that.
Yeah, you just revealed everything. That's not cool.
Okay, we cut that.
That's for the fake Trion.
Okay. That's fake Trion bloopers.
I love our Patreon where we have so many great videos. Me reenacting Xenogears from memory with sock puppets.
I can't wait.
Okay. Human arrow to Gnosis experiment. I'm not sure what that is.
Oh, Betty.
Yeah, I was wondering why there was Betty written in the corner.
Yeah, her name's Betty. She wasn't an experiment, though. She just happened.
She was a little girl.
That's what my parents said.
No, son, you're not an experiment. You just happened.
Then I spent a whole lot of time flashing back to events that actually never happened. And, Junior Chibi-sama info dumps the entire plot of the episode of the anime at the 45% mark of the anime.
Yeah, that sounds like the, well, like before that. That sounds about right. Forgot what else I was going to say about that, but never mind.
Okay.
Well, anyway.
Excellent.
That was the info dump episode. Or one of two.
It certainly wasn't one of the more fun episodes.
No, Junior's just the guy who info dumps on everybody.
I thought he was a shonen protagonist.
He is, but he also does the info dumping because nobody else in this anime understands that they're actually in an anime.
Yeah.
He's the only one who's enlightened. He's not delusional. He breaks the fourth wall.
I actually just like to casually info dump to my friends. I think it really helps them understand things.
Junior should have came out like the guy from the Twilight Zone and info dumped that way. just like lit up a cigarette and just, hello everyone.
Stares at the camera.
Yeah. And I am going to
ready
tell
for
you a
episode 6?
story, a wonderful and frightening story about 4,000 years into the future.
Alright, so episode 5 is an info dump. Do you have
4,000 years after the origin of the Earth was abandoned.
anything else to say about episode 5, or we're going to move on to the next one?
The one last thing I have to say about the onion ship apparently doesn't happen until episode 6, so let's go.
Alright.
Okay, episode 6. Durandal arrived at the base, the Kukai Foundation. The Foundation's representative director, Guinan Kukai, welcomed Shion and others. In a peaceful city of foundations, Shion get a moment of peace. Unfortunately for Shion, she later gets astrophobia, fear of thunder, while she and her friends, except for Cosmos, having fun at the beach. Later at that point, the UTIC organization, which relentlessly aims for the Y material that sleeps in the peach, has launched a new plot.
Jesus.
The Foundation was besieged by the
Jeez.
Federal fleet of stars, with suspicions that it was Durandal who attacked cruiser Voklinde.
Yes, Guinan, my
So-
favorite.
Yes, Guinan Kukai.
Guinan Kukai.
The Y material that sleeps in the peach.
Yep. that's what we had to get the peaches.
I love how Shion suddenly, just then and there, got a phobia. Just developed one right there.
I like that it was translated like that way, that apparently that was how it was written, that it was astrophobia and then fear of thunder. Like, it's... Because, I mean, we've established that there's no way that this was originally written in English, and it was just poorly translated. So it just makes a lot of the other things in it, like, why was this written that way?
Okay, let me...
Or did somebody, in fact, go through this and go, oh, astrophobia, people aren't going to know what that means, better add a parenthetical.
I can't come into work tomorrow, I caught a phobia.
I tried that, it doesn't work. They still make you go.
But it's the fear of
Oh,
work.
Oh, and by the way,
Unfortunate.
Voklinde does not have an H in it this time.
What is the
What are
world
your
coming to?
notes?
Okay, so let's start at the end of my notes here. There's a really phallic shot of the onion ship.
The onion ship
Yeah.
shouldn't be phallic.
Well, it was Junior's ship docking
Well, it's
at
because
the
of-
onion
yeah.
ship.
It goes inside and it does like that weird Macross thing where it like lands in a colony.
Yeah. It's great.
Hey,
Macross was a good anime.
It's a very good anime.
I'll put it on my to-do list, guys. It's so long already. I put Natsume Yujincho on that, and there's like 6 seasons.
Yike. Tell me about episode 6, though.
Who the hell is Sakura?
Okay.
I bought you some guns at an auction for the lols.
Yeah,
Oh,
that is
yeah.
about the relationship between Guinan and Junior.
Guinan and Junior. They're good. They're bros.
They are bros.
Yeah, so, Gaiden Senior apparently is that guy with a really, really nice suit, and, an Escaflowne nose, and apparently, he's not old enough to be a DILF, but that doesn't mean that people don't, happen to be horny for him on the server.
You just mean a shoujo nose, don't
Is that a
you?
requirement? I didn't know that. Like, are we only allowed to be horny for DILFs?
You guys have some very particular preferences. Not you 3... Sorry, you 4? But, like, the server in general. Unless you want me to cut that.
No, that's
Oh,
fine.
that's fine.
Oh no, you keep that.
Guilty
Expose
as
us.
charged.
There's no shame here.
I haven't shamed you guys enough for everybody being horny for Ziggy.
I mean, we did have a waifu husbando war episode, so I think we're fine.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly we don't have that much shame, but...
I do
We
need
just like
to
to-
listen to that episode as soon as I'm done with
That one,
this
is, that one
recording.
is actually pretty funny.
I think you'll be pleasantly
I'll go right
surprised at the
You'll-
winner.
you'll like that
at
one.
the winner.
It's
You'll
not
be happy.
Ziggy?
It's not Ziggy, because, well, Ziggy wasn't even eligible.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was only characters who you'd never play as, although we did make a goof on that.
Oh,
Interesting.
forgot about that.
Yeah,
I'm going to assume that you nominated Dixon and Groff.
you can't nominate Dixon, you can play as Dixon.
Yeah,
Wait,
you
what?
can play as Dixon.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
it was NPCs.
Oh, I did not realize you could play as Dixon.
Characters count as playable,
Briefly.
so Dixon could not
Yep,
be there.
very, very, very
I did
briefly.
at the end talk about how I would have chosen Dixon.
I see.
All right.
I go about 5 minutes before I have to talk about Dixon.
I love that your mic cut on that for me.
Yeah.
Same here, and
Son?
it was beautiful.
Talk about Dixon.
Okay.
Of course it did.
There is one and only one person of a different race in the entire anime, and it's that one politician.
Helmer.
Yeah, Helmer.
Helmer's a good guy.
Wait a
Yes,
second.
finally, a person of color!
I thought Chaos was... Anyway.
Chaos is dark skin.
I thought Chaos was supposed to be an effigy of the Holy Spirit, but okay.
Well, I mean, that would just make him Middle Eastern.
That doesn't count?
Not Japanese.
No, he's actually a hedgehog.
Oh.
Fair.
Wait, I thought Tony was a hedgehog.
Yeah, Tony the Hedgehog.
Albedo is a serious creeper because he uses French words to describe Momo.
Oh, yes, ma
Is that
pêche.
still on episode 6?
Yes, this is still episode 6.
You can tell a creeper by the French words.
That's why nobody talks to me.
Oh.
Yeah, who said that? I didn't hear anything.
What was
That's
that?
the joke. No, I'm kidding.
The beach scene felt like it was pulled out of thin air.
Even though that was actually very accurate to the game.
Yeah, no,
Like,
that
one of the
was
few
fine.
things that was actually, like, good.
This was the episode where I finally realized that the creeper bunny with the scribble eyes, which looks like it should have actually belonged in Madoka Magica, is basically the in-world equivalent of Hello Kitty.
Yeah.
Man, I can't believe how much
Yeah,
of a
yeah.
ripoff QB was.
Can't believe Bunny ripped off QB.
Yeah.
No, Bunny ripped off one of the, I would say, one of the minions in at least one of the witch dungeons, and I can't remember the name of the witch. Because it had scribbles for eyes instead of solid eyes.
Oh, probably Charlotte, right? The clown one?
Again, I'm blanking.
Okay. Anyway,
It's been a long time since I saw Madoka.
Same.
I rewatched it this year, so
I've never seen it.
it's great.
Ooh.
It's got Kaijuro soundtrack too, so.
Bot, I'm going to sit you down on this couch and we're going to watch 12 episodes of anime and you're going to like it. That's what Halloween is
tell
going
me.
to be.
Yeah,
You're going to
you-
watch
you
a
will
freaking
like it.
magical girl show and you're
Okay.
going to like it.
Alright. Sounds believable. I mean, was that supposed to be a threat? Because it wasn't.
It was a threat.
I mean, that show is kind of threatening.
It is really threatening.
Genoa
It's cute for
Bushi
3
Road.
episodes and then everything goes downhill really fast.
It's a good show. I remember it being in, I think it was my Japanese class. There was a guy who had a Madoka wallpaper, and then I remember I saw his phone. And I was just like, "What is that?" And I guess like he thought I was gonna make fun of him for it, and he's just like, "Dude, I swear it's a good show. Trust me." And I'm like, "Okay." And then I watched it, and I was like, "Oh." I see why he has this as his wallpaper now. It's like those first 3 episodes, you're kind of just like, "What is this?" And then it gets really good.
I thought you were going to say you asked about it and he tried to sell you the gospel.
Yeah, right.
So are we ready for episode 7 or
No, I'm ready to talk
episode-
about Madoka Magica and why it's a good show.
Different podcast.
We'll save that for...
You can go ahead and start Madoka Chat. Alright.
A fake Patreon episode that's Madoka Chat.
Oh,
Yeah,
episode 7.
on
I
our
remember
Patreon
episode 7
episode,
being
I will
weird.
plug my friend's Italian subtitle plot. Anyways.
I remember episode 7 being weird. This was when the show really just got weird.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
we
Oh, okay, sorry, episode 7. Shion and the others are detained by the Star Federation Federal Army. Since then, Captain Lapis was a comrade sent by Helmer into the military. With the help of Lapis, Shion and the others escape from Durandal, head for the city of the Foundation. Alan is trying to access the Cosmos database with the help of Hakase, a scientist familiar with him, to clear the charges of the Durandal attack. Soon the UTIC organization was developing an aggressive program for Encepharon.
Oh.
You mean not Sephiroth?
No, his cousin. And Sephiron.
I missed
That-
one important note, guys.
Oh, shoot, yes.
Alan the Boozer, gay drunk.
Yep. Yeah, was episode 6 the one where, like, Alan and Scott finally get together?
Yeah, that was...
The only good thing in the whole anime?
Yeah, let's celebrate the one good thing that happens in this entire anime. Alan finds somebody who's actually better at romance than Shion.
Alan finds somebody who loves him for him and not as a replacement.
Exactly.
No rebound.
Yeah, all things considered, the ending of Xenosaga 3 where Alan spills his heart out in front of Kevin and Shion, I mean, that was supposed to be a really poignant scene, but, like, Shion is clearly not ready for a serious relationship. She's still drowning her sorrows about Kevin breaking up with her. So, it was an opportune moment, but at a really bad time.
I still think the scene can be very poignant from the perspective of just, like, him saying, hey, Kevin, knock it off with your shit, but...
I mean, yeah, there's probably that too, but again, I didn't really have much context.
I mean, whose fault was that?
I mean, Nick was streaming
Yeah, I knew I was going to be blamed for this.
And it's like, hey, you've spent how many hours on this? I want to see your final accomplishment. I want to root for you.
I very much appreciate it.
I want to celebrate with everybody else. And then, meanwhile, it's 12 people in the Discord, and they're all backseat gaming. And I'm so glad you didn't have to listen to any of it.
I have to. Thank you.
Aren't we great friends?
Wait, why didn't you heal? Nick, you should have healed. You didn't heal?
They were all screaming he was underleveled and he didn't have this one other thing that you were supposed to get in a side quest that you were supposed to double back for.
Oh, okay. Thanks, chat.
And then you go in there, it's like 1, 2, 3, boom. Hey!
Oh my god! Unless it was like Ericaz or Sigma, I have no clue what they're talking about.
I think that was.
Yeah,
dude, that was. I bet that. Okay, I don't know because I only tried to fight him one time way early on, but he seemed like he would be harder than the last boss was.
Yeah, he's a super boss.
Yeah.
Anyway, tell me about episode 7.
Episode 7 is where we started after a whole week. So, like, if by that point I was like, okay, what the fuck happened in the first 6 episodes? I don't actually remember anymore. And then the military came in, but apparently military was, like, actually corporate police from a different corporation? Which I wasn't quite... I did not follow where the heck they came from.
Right, the military was actually under the thumb of Utic, except for Lapis, who was under the thumb of Helmer.
I'm sorry, you cut out there for a moment.
Oh, sorry. The military was part of Utic, which, except for Lapis, who was sent there by Helmer.
So it was one corporation policing a different corporation.
Well, Helmer's not part of a corporation, he's part of the government.
So one corporation policing...
Utic policing Kukai Foundation, who is harboring personnel from... Frick, what were they called?
Vector, thank
you. Did they ever mention the name Vector Industries?
I think so.
Okay.
Or at least it was on the side of the ship.
Proper nouns, what are those?
So yes, corporation was trying to sabotage other corporation because they had third corporation's property.
And I have a small circle here that says second militia, but it's actually crossed out and written militia. Because I'd been reading it wrong the entire show. Because I was like, wait, what is this army that they keep talking about and then never show us? And like, oh, it's a planet. Yeah, blame that on the subtitles.
Yeah, we were watching it in Japanese with English subtitles.
Well, it's because we couldn't get English with English subtitles.
Well, we could, but it would still have, like, the subtitles based on the wrong script.
Well, what we were looking for was closed captions, and that was not actually available. Unfortunate. This is what happens when you stream stuff.
I think part of it was just that we didn't want to be distracted by the voices.
Mm-hmm.
Since I think the English cast does do a fine job, but they're of course not the cast that, if you played the game, that you're used to.
Mm-hmm. That's it, exactly.
Like I've said before, but I think the voice actor for Albedo in the anime did a great job, but he wasn't Crispin Freeman.
Exactly.
Which is very strange, considering how... It just seems like Crispin Freeman would be so available, but it's also pretty clear that the studio that produced this probably didn't care as much.
Well, and it was in Texas.
Yeah, well...
Yeah.
ADV Films, rip.
Okay, so one thing that really threw me off about episode 7 in particular, besides the whole military aspect, is the second half where they go over to Scott and Unnamed Professor's laboratory, and it's like, look at all these giant robot toys. Like, wait a minute, where did this come from?
In some ways, that is true to the game.
Yeah.
I get that, but also then we spend 3 episodes going into the Matrix because we're looking for... What was it? Basically, we went into the Matrix so that we could go send some programming instructions to Cosmos to override different programming instructions?
We went to Cosmos' memory to find her memory of events to override the doctored version of events that UTIG posed as the military was providing.
But Cosmos wasn't there for 3 episodes. She was elsewhere, so they went remotely into
Cosmos.
Honestly, they went into a cyberspace not unlike Mega Man? Is that a fair comparison?
I was going to say it would be more like one of those, like that episode of Magic School Bus where they had to go into Arnold's body. So, like, of course, Arnold wasn't really part of the journey. He was the body.
It would have made more sense if there was actually a wire between Shion's capsule and Cosmos, but Cosmos was just roaming out and about.
Wait, was Cosmos not there, or was
she
she
was in her?
roaming? 'Cause
Wasn't she in her bed?
Changed.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was in her bed. She was in her bed, and they were able to connect to her remotely.
Yeah.
Okay, I could have sworn that she was roaming out and about, but I'll take you guys' word for this.
She does appear later, but we're not there yet.
Okay, and then once we go into the Matrix, it turns into a fight scene from Dreamland, and they could have gone literally any direction.
This was painful.
But all of you were just screaming in the background, why did they do Queen's Kiss? This is fan service.
That part
why
was
did they do Queen's Kiss?
so painful.
Yeah, so this is like one of the... I guess this was their time to just show a bunch of attacks from the game and all different death blows. And, of course, for Shion, she doesn't have her MWS, so you don't even see her use her own weapon. She does Queen's Kiss. Out of all of her attacks, out of all of her death blows, that's the one they pick.
Now, what bothers me even more is that within 5 minutes of that particular scene, somebody says, oh yeah, by the way, Shion is a trained martial artist. So I'm like, okay, so she's gonna use, I don't know, something out of a stupid fighting game to beat the shit out of these robots, right? No, they cut to this scene of her in a bikini.
Yeah.
I felt slapped in the face.
Yep.
Yeah, and she does have that ability in the game. That is actually accurate. It's just she has so many other moves that they could have used. Lunar Blade would have been awesome, but
you have to have the weapon for that, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't.
But they could have imagined it. Even if she didn't have the weapon this entire anime. In that like one sequence, they could have just, okay, here it is. There's no plot reason for you to have it, but you have it because this is Dreamland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I mean, I guess part of the reason why she doesn't have it is that Miyuki isn't mentioned in the anime at all.
Oh, wow.
Who's Miyuki again?
Oh, right.
I mean, to be fair, while I do adore Miyuki to bits and pieces, you don't need Miyuki to have the MWS. Like,
you don't, but like she's often
things.
sending you like updates for that. Like she's a big part of the MWS, at least from what I remember.
They changed enough in the anime that they could have just said, "Oh, look, Shion made this thing."
Is it
true?
Is it like Togashi's even in the anime, isn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Togeshi's
Totally.
there.
Togeshi is in the
that's
anime.
like-
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Wait a minute. What was that acronym you gave us?
MWS?
That wasn't even in my notes.
Well, it wasn't in the
Because it wasn't even
Because
in the anime.
That was like her.
I have like a half a dozen different acronyms scribbled through my notes, and like that isn't one of them they even decided to drop.
Well, yeah, because it wasn't in the anime.
Too complicated to draw in the time period we have allotted.
We couldn't draw a weird rectangle.
Yes.
But you guys drew a weird.
We couldn't draw a
Weird
Lego brick with a
rectangle.
triangle coming out of it for a blade. It actually looks a lot better than that, I swear.
I need more vodka, guys.
Do
Do you?
you have
Are
any?
you ready for episode 8?
Oh, last thing here is, this entire page. They finally introduced Jin Uzuki, who is basically the peanut gallery.
Just picturing him like as like those two old men in the Muppets.
Waldorf and Statler?
Statler and Waldorf, yeah.
Snide comments as the rest of them go along their adventure now.
It's funny that you say that because I just imagine Jin Uzuki sitting in like a theater just throwing popcorn back into his mouth as he watches the events of Xenosaga unfold.
But you understand that Chaos would be in the seat next to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which
Oh
makes
my
it better,
gosh.
honestly.
I want
And
this.
even better if I add Saiten Uzuki to that list of people in the audience watching, because why not?
Alright.
He'd just be like, he'd just like nudge one of them. I've seen this one before.
Okay, so they take the next episode to basically info dump everybody's personal traumas. Mostly Shion has bad family issues, and, Junior has serious war trauma. That, I think that's mostly episode 9 or 10.
Well, would you like me to read the description of 8?
It involves something about URTVs and Udo.
Everyone in Xenosaga has bad family issues.
Oh, yeah, yes.
In Encepharon, Shion defeated the aggressive program. Fortunately, Shion is made to relive the experience of the old Mercia 14 years ago under the guidance of the mysterious Nephilim. It's the day Shion witnessed his parents' death. On the other hand, for Junior, the day he left his brothers, Urtiv, was also reproduced. Now both of them, Shion and Junior, who have a hard time in the past. Nephilim says he needed to face the past to change the future. Despite his wish not fulfilled, Shion proves the innocence of the Kukai Foundation by accessing the memory of Cosmos.
Nephilim?
Nephilim.
Oh, okay. That clears everything up. Thank you.
Okay, why the heck do I have Doctor Who
Nephilim.
Time Needs a Mod?
What?
Oh,
I have a note here that says Doctor Who / Time Needs a Mod.
Oh, yeah, they had to fix time.
okay. I was gonna say there was probably some wibbly wobbly shit going on.
Yes, wibbly
It
wobbly,
was.
timey wimey.
Is that it for 8?
I'm trying to read my last notes. My handwriting is atrocious.
Get better handwriting. Just download the better handwriting program.
I'm sorry, I'm not a robot.
You just go,
Probably shaking with anger as we went further into the show.
Honestly, you're probably not wrong.
you just go to, you find, a crowdsourced website, and you download the better handwriting app.
I've seen that advertisement on Google Apps. I don't need that.
Okay, I guess this last one says, how did Pellegrin, Jin, and Chaos show up? And then there's something here that says floppy, and it's underlined 10 times.
Oh, there was a floppy disk. Oh, yeah, the memory that they got from Cosmos was on a floppy disk.
By the time we had flip phones, we had CD drives. Floppies died in the 90s.
Called the why data, as in why the fuck is this here?
We're not even up to that again.
Floppy's made a resurgence 4,000 years in the future.
Yeah. I mean, civilization gets wiped out and they have to rebuild.
It's retro, man. Like the stone tablet from Mesopotamia.
This is reminding me of that time my mom said that when she was in college, she had to make a floppy disk shuriken robot.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, that sounds very good.
Yeah, this is what you do in engineering school.
And honestly...
And...
Oh, go on.
No, there was a catch.
Go on.
Everybody was testing with normal size floppies, and when it came to actually testing everybody's robots, the professor actually whipped out the extra large size floppies.
Yeah, I think those would go further because they're lighter. They'd be easier to throw.
I don't remember what
Crispy.
the actual results were, but everybody basically panicked because nobody had even tested that.
Kind of amazing.
Some people couldn't even throw them.
So
Okay.
I just want to say, I hope that in the future we talk on phones that look like pterodactyls. So, yeah.
Alright, episode 9, please.
The Kukai Foundation finally arrives at the second Milcia, after allegations of rebellion against the Star Federation have cleared. Later on, due to Albedo's use of Neparim's singing voice, a horde of Gnostic appears. Shion greeted Gnostic, who has infiltrated the city. Meanwhile, Virgil, who has set out in Aegis, saves Momo, who should have been a hated Realian. Virgil, before that, Cosmos' attack kills Virgil's attempt to break through, while Junior, who sets himself to control the giant anti-noise robot to confront Albedo by fighting him. What will happen next if Junior win the battle with Albedo? So that's what happened in episode 9, yeah?
That's about as concise as I remember it. There was fighting, and there was a lot of collateral damage, and there were giant robots. Also, Momo got kidnapped.
Yeah, Momo did get kidnapped.
Despite the fact that the antagonist hasn't been seen in over 6 episodes.
I really wish you just said,
He was
thing happened.
busy.
And that was all.
Yeah, things happened. Albedo shows up, finally deciding to be an antagonist for once.
It's time.
Oh, you did have like an interesting note about the words choices that Albedo used, where, like, I think he spoke once and you were like, oh, this guy's clearly a villain because he's speaking in this classical form.
Yeah. Yeah, the way that he speaks has that air of archaicness that comes with, I am a villain who also writes with a quill pen.
Yeah, I could see him writing with a quill pen.
I see it.
But I could also see Jin writing with a quill pen.
Oh, he totally would.
Yeah.
He still has books.
Ugh, books.
Books.
Paper
Ugh,
books.
They're made of
Gross,
paper, little
yuck,
master.
vomit. Is that all you have for 9?
Let's see if I can actually read my handwriting.
Oh my god.
I am sorry to all the listeners that my handwriting sucks. And that I have to take so long to read all of this. Can we cut some of the pausing that I have?
Oh yeah, we can.
I will.
Okay. You are our savior, Jim.
Too bad this is not a physical medium.
Okay, despite being
Visual.
the antagonist we haven't seen in half the shows, yes, he bitch slaps the delivery boy, which I did not condone. I was like, why did you do that?
What?
Wait, who did what?
Wait, who
I
slapped too?
I think this was just some episode of more abuse of that 99 unit by Albedo.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. That
And
sounds like
also, finally, some giant robots! You guys have been saying, hey, this is a giant robots thing, this is a giant robots game, this is a giant robot series of games. Hey, the fucking planet is a giant robot in this one game. Where are the giant robots? The giant robots finally showed up in episode 9.
I think there were giant robots in episode 1, they were just really easy to ignore.
Also, it says CinemaSins flashback times 3. Oh, and Cosmos is finally back on the main screen. And Virgil finally dies because of plot exhaustion.
They no longer had a use for him, so they had to kill him off.
I've been wearing a
I mean,
red
why
shirt
not?
this long. What happened?
Did he basically take over whatever Cherenkov was supposed to do?
No.
Or... Okay, so they were like, okay, we need a guy here. Oh wait, what do we do with him? Let's just shove him into random scenes.
If I remember, I think it was kind of bizarre because some of the stuff that he did wasn't, like, the way he acted and some of the stuff he did, like, it isn't completely inaccurate, but isn't things that you would find out in the game until, like, the third one.
Yeah. They also never explain his facial scarring in the anime.
Yeah, that's true. Which I'm pretty sure they did almost, like, not immediately in the first game, but, like, really soon.
They did it very close.
Did they not mention his DME addiction, or?
No.
They did, like, really close.
What is a DME?
Oh.
You'll find out.
You know what? I feel like the episode cover for this particular conversation should be that one Nia React where she's got the really befuddled eyebrows.
Fair.
Because that's me right now.
Yeah, that's fair. Is that all you have for 9?
Yeah, that's 9.
Alright, 10. Although Gnosis invaded the city area, it was destroyed, but Momo was taken away by Albedo, which Junior lost the mecha battle with him. Right at this moment, Junior tells Shion about the relationship between himself and Albedo. Afterwards, Gnostic's attack becomes even more intense. Appearing there was Akemi, which is the base of the vector. Akemitsu sweeps away Gnostic with its overwhelming destructive power. Then a phase change gun was sent from Akemitsu to identify the place where Albedo lurks. Shion orders Cosmos to use a phase change gun to save Momo.
Good job.
Wait, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah,
I thought Momo got kidnapped in episode 9.
Yeah, so Cosmos has to use the phase change gun to save her.
The face change?
The phase.
Oh, I thought maybe it actually said face by accident.
That would be really funny, but no, it does say face.
I also applaud them on not ending the sentence with a preposition with him after they had already acknowledged that it was the fight with him.
I disagree with that summary. They dumped all of the info about Junior and his trauma in episode 8. What they did in episode 10 was finally define what sort of relationship that Albedo had with the protagonists.
Well, it does say Junior tells Shion about the relationship between himself and Albedo.
It's not enough!
Okay, also Kevin gets stabbed.
Oh, they had the flashback where Kevin got stabbed?
Yeah, they had that flashback in this one.
Oh, that's what boob stab means.
But boob stab happened a while
Yeah, but that was way earlier.
That has to have been a different stabbing.
I'm sure it was.
I can't believe we have to watch
Multiple
episode
boob
3
stab.
again to figure out boob stab.
We're gonna have to rewatch this anime, guys.
That's just gonna be the title of the episode, boob stab.
You can do it on your own time. I'm not doing it again.
You're the one with
I
the
did it
DVDs!
All we need to watch is that one episode.
We can watch it at double speed, make it go faster, figure out boob stab.
Sure.
The secret of boob stab.
We call this episode boob stab to just increase our views.
XenoChat
Okay,
episode 30, boob stab.
One of you guys had said that there was a conversation they had that by moving it all the way up to episode 10 completely missed the point of the conversation, and it says here this note is referencing the death of Virgil, but I remember that there was another episode much earlier where they were saying something about fireflies and the fake ecosystem, and then Cosmos makes some remark, and you made the same comment.
I think that one actually occurred relatively okay in the anime.
Somebody else was saying it wasn't kosher.
I don't quite remember. I do know that, like, Virgil's death, how it was dealt with in the anime, causes Cosmos' later comment about the fireflies to be a bit more weird, just because of the placement of those two conversations.
That might have been it.
Yeah, that sounds familiar, but I can't put my finger on what it was at this point.
Man, we're getting into some great episode descriptions.
Oh!
Just now, huh?
There's another note on the back of this page that says, we still don't know who Sakura is.
Yeah, that's fair.
And what are these bird people?
What? I don't know. What bird people?
Why are there bird people?
There aren't?
Is it?
There were people with bird masks.
Oh, those bird people.
Oh, you're talking
Plague
about the
doctors,
Testament?
Yeah. There are plague doctors.
Why are there plague doctors in the year 4000?
Because there are plagues.
The explanation that they had in Xenogears for why they were bird people made more sense.
The explanation there was they were mutants.
Yeah, the explanation in a Xenosaga, the animation, is there isn't.
I mean, I can answer with symbolism. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
You'll find out.
Isn't Hannibal.
Nudge, nudge.
Are you ready for 11?
What is a Dss Sensor?
If I say that it's actually DSSS, does that help you?
I think it's just another term that they mentioned offhandedly and decided to never define.
It's the next
Yeah, that
Nintendo
sounds about
console.
Okay, this is the final episode note. XL Big Gun Go Boom. Should go before episode 10 start.
I know which gun.
So,
I don't know what that means.
Excellent.
It's the one that looks like, kind of like a sniper rifle, but totally is not. Oh, well, I mean, I should say a sniper rifle that's like, you know, a few, like, 100 times the size of a person or something. That kind of thing.
Okay, before we go on, how are we supposed to pronounce Mizrahi's first name?
Joachim?
Or, no, wait. Are we talking about Yuli, or...
No, I thought it was Joaquin as well, but it's not spelled that way in my notes.
Oh.
Well, I can't help that you spelled his name wrong.
Ooh.
Well, I spelled it based on what the subtitles
Joaquin.
gave us.
It's Joachim.
What did you...
Joachim.
Yeah, there are two different people with that name in this series, and it's just, they're pronounced differently, I think, for each, which is weird.
No, you're thinking of Joaquin, who has a slightly different name.
Oh, does
There's
he?
an-
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, N instead of an M, and yeah.
That's right. My bad.
It's alright.
Yeah, Joachim. Are we ready? Okay. So, episode 11?
Episode 11. Okay, sure.
It was the research plant, once built by Joachim Mizrahi, that was pulled out of the distortion of space by the phase change gun. In the heavenly car, Albedo searches for Y material sleeping in the peach. Alone, Junior collides with Ziggy in an attempt to save Momo. Soon, Shion's feelings for peaches are the same. They take
Beautiful.
Elsa and infiltrate into the heavenly car. Shion and the others finally reach the center and face Albedo. However, the mutant simian appeared there.
I'm the Joker, baby!
We go into the peaches now?
I don't... Okay.
James and the Giant Peach.
Okay, in the heavenly car, Albedo is searching for the Y material in the peach. Just one peach. And Shion's opinion on peaches remains the same.
What is continuity? Just fuck that shit. That's actually in my notes.
Well, peaches come in a can that were put there by a man in a factory way downtown.
Oh my god.
Is that the start of some country song?
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
That's actually a rock song.
Huh.
It's Peaches by Presidents of the United States of America. It's
They
a,
used
it's
to
a
play
90s
that.
country song.
They used to play
Yeah.
that song at work all the time, and it was frustrating.
That song is funny. I'm sorry.
Oh, frustrating? I'm sorry, would you like to hear Jingle Bells for 7 hours?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you worked at Michael's, not Hobby Lobby. Okay.
Yeah, but there's like a display that just plays the first few chords of Jingle Bells
Okay.
over and over and over again.
Anyway.
Retail is hell.
I know, I'm just imagining that right now, and what I would give for a pair of electrical pliers to just cut that out. Rip its heart out like nobody's business. It would be a reckoning. Then we put it in the middle of some sort of divinity circle, and we summon the spirit of Christmas, and then we kill it.
The Halloween display is on at the same time, so that, like, it's Jingle Bells mixed around with, like, random creepy laughter.
As long as it's not This Is Halloween from The Nightmare Before Christmas, I'm cool with that.
Pay for that.
Jingle bells, go to hell. Santa wants your soul. I made that up. Thank you.
So do you have any notes, Cilantro?
Do you have any notes on episode 11?
Yeah, that's a thing.
Okay. Yeah, let's see what I got here. Shion's ahoge has gotten out of control. Like,
Maximum
okay,
power.
I get.
I'm just amused that in this episode that was so plot heavy, what you took away from it was what's going on with that idiot hair.
It's because you guys were laughing at it for like a good 5 minutes straight.
I mean, the hair in this show was really weird. Like, we didn't mention this, but like Chaos's hair was insane in some shots.
Dude.
I'm sorry, he looks like Sora from Kingdom Hearts, recolored.
Ziggy was like from a CoverGirl commercial for a few times. Almost every time he plays
Ziggy was weird because. And then there's some shots where Ziggy just straight up looks like Guile from Street Fighter.
Yeah, they really didn't know how to animate a lot of the hair.
What was that, Ziggy? I said Sonic Boom.
I have this half-assed little chart here that's attempting to figure out how the song Nephilim relates to the original Zohars and the, what is this, the Proto-Merkaba?
Proto-Merkaba, yeah. That's...
Okay. And the three of these things together summon all the Gnosis? Because Joaquin Mizrahi is just one of those scientists who's like, what's the ethics board? Fuck the ethics board.
Morality, I live for science. Screw people.
I mean,
I swear that he's gotta be from
environmental
Solaris in a
science.
previous game. Because Solaris has the same thing. What's the ethics board? Fuck the ethics board. This also is the first time that you see anybody actually boarding the robots.
Yeah.
I think that the anime actually really did capture the spirit of the giant robots very well, because they're very underwhelming in the game, and they were very underwhelming in the anime.
That's true.
No.
You can just say it's anticlimactic.
But I wanted to say underwhelming.
Alright,
I like that.
Okay, even in Xenogears, the relationship between Animus and Anima is really poorly defined, if at all. They try to do it in one cutscene with the Gazel Ministry, and that failed epically. I am still confused. They don't mention Animus in Xenosaga whatsoever, but they do mention Anima, which I'm going to assume is the exact same thing as what they attempted to do in Xenogears, but I could be completely wrong.
So the Animus is the physical bodies, and the Anima is the spirit.
So the Animus are the gears, and the Anima are the Zohar chips.
The Animus is the cast of Xenogears, because they have fleshy bodies that the Gazel Ministry would like to put their brains in. And also they are capable of fusing with anima relics, which make your robots better.
I have some thoughts about the Gazel Ministry, but they're too rated R even for this podcast.
I'm just happy that neither of us said Gazelle Ministry.
They should be gazelles.
You just said confusing in Gazel Ministry in the same sentence, and I was just like, I don't know what we're talking about, but I agree.
You just figured out immediately, you're like, I know that I'm not going to understand this.
Then they forcibly fuse the 99 series robot girl into the gigantic robot and attempt to have a fight with the giant robot, and then I can't even read what this scribble says. It says fuse with, I think that's supposed to, no, I don't even know what that is, and it says / flawed logic.
I mean, I understand. That episode was very exciting.
I think it's whatever argument that the 99 series girl used to justify her fusing with Albedo's giant robot.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
The Kirschwasser was saying how, like, Joachim basically was like, okay, you're just a prototype, you're not what I'm actually trying to make, because what he was trying to make was Momo. And that she basically felt like she wasn't worth that much. And Albedo, at least when he was abusing them, would look at them and was the closest she felt to wanted. So you might have been responding to that.
Oh.
That might be it, because there's one last note here at the very top that says, Kirschwasser is the protagonist because she's the only one with a completed character arc, despite the fact that she only appears in, 3 episodes? Maybe 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd buy that she's basically... It's interesting because a lot of the times when a show will introduce a new character to something, they're supposed to be the audience stand-in to, like, be a vehicle to explain the series. So this was we introduced a character to have another character.
You describing that again briefly made me remember that part. It was just like, oh yeah, she was kind of overcoming being Stockholmed a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's a thing they go into a little bit in episode 2, but I could not be certain.
Is it really her overcoming it? I thought it was really her confessing to, yes, I have this problem.
No, maybe that
it
was
just
it.
her
I'm not
confessing
sure.
it. She doesn't overcome it. She just says, look, I have to serve here's why I serve Albedo. Here's why I recognize this is abusive, this is bad, but this is the only time I feel like I'm wanted.
Yeah. That was just me, like, I can't remember completely, so from the description it kind of sounded like that, so yeah.
Okay, shall we move on to the final episode?
Alright, final episode. If not defeating the mutant simian fused with Kirschwasser, the second Mircea will be destroyed. For Shion's distress, Cosmos proposes a strategy to rescue Kirsch. Cosmos that responds to Shion's trust and succeeds in its operations. But the celestial car began to plunge into the second Milsha atmosphere. Kirsch remains in the heavenly car and disassembles the plant. The ship Elsa, which Shion and others are riding on, is about to burn out in the atmosphere, but Cosmos saves herself and saves the crisis. Can she save it by sacrificing herself before it's too late?
What?
I'm just excited that they said Milsha right.
Oh, they did?
In the last episode.
In the last episode, they got Milsha right on the very last time they had to write it.
Writers gotta
because
keep
the
you on
time
your
just
toes.
before that is Myrcia.
Okay, so, first thing to note about this episode is that it has a normal opening. That's already demerit points because every single show in their final episode does something different with that opening sequence. Sometimes they just completely cut it. But no, this just went on as is. I feel like these people were hoping they'd get a second season, but then they were told no, and so they had to shift everything around last minute. Whoever Simeon is never explained. They mentioned something called Abel's Arc, which I still don't know what it is. That final fight scene really doesn't need the mechas at all. What do you call them in this game? They're not gears anymore.
Eggs.
Eggs.
Eggs. Not eggs.
And Simeon was Albedo's robot.
Okay. See, it would have been nice if somebody said, oh, by the way, this is my robot.
Oh yeah, it's Simeon, isn't it? Like O-N, not A-N?
Yeah, it's Owen.
Okay, I've been hearing, like, I've just been thinking of an ape this entire time when you guys said that.
Oh.
Whoops.
And I was like, what is that? It's fine.
Okay, and all the budget that didn't go into the hyperspace scene clearly went into the dance sequence.
And then the tentacles.
I was right, there were tentacles in this particular
I just didn't
show.
remember any, I'm sorry.
The dance sequence?
Yeah, Cosmos is, flying through all the tentacles trying to beat up, Kirschweiser's bot.
Okay. I was just imagining Spider-Man 3.
That was a really nice and very well coordinated scene, but
There were a few of those.
the rest of this sequence around it makes no sense. Like, why did everybody show up in their mechs?
We're here to support you by standing here in mechs and doing nothing.
Yeah, did you all run out of fuel?
Oh shit. Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It also says beginning and end cutscenes played back to back in the same scene.
I mean, like the...
Oh yeah, I think they had to have a moment where they used the opening or ending cuts song, and then they... Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
glad
they
you
played
guys
the
can
opening
decipher
and
my
they had
notes.
the ending that was perfectly normal, so
We
it's just like,
got you.
oh, it's the opening again.
Oh, okay. Final note. Which really should have gone way further earlier in my notes, but I think this is what we were discussing after we were all really disappointed at the ending of episode 12. The only reason they kept Virgil alive this long is because they needed that one buff dude until they introduced Ziggy in probably 2 episodes later. They could have killed him then, but then they didn't have a reason to, so they were just waiting for an excuse to kill him later.
Yeah.
Is it really necessary to have a buff dude?
I mean, no, because you have Ziggy.
Exactly! You could have waited.
I feel like there were things that Cherenkov added to the plot that were not added with Virgil.
Mm-hmm.
And that
I
what
agree.
Virgil added to the plot, extending his life, didn't do anything. I know that afterwards we were having a discussion about the sorts of animes that might accompany a game series or other form of media, and the goals were, if they were trying to attract a new audience, well, they failed at that. If they were trying to just kind of make a little treat for the already existing audience, well, they certainly didn't do that either. So it was kind of, what is the goal? And it's very unclear. It seems to, just because of the lack of definition of terms and the speed at which everything goes, it was more so to be like extra material for people who were already invested, except it wasn't good.
Okay, the more I think about this, the more it's actually reminding me of the Fullmetal Alchemist live-action drama.
I don't know what's going on. I just enjoy technobabble.
No, it was, I don't know what's going on, but I have to ram 200 chapters worth of plot into 90 minutes of film.
I still can't believe. Like, I'm so glad I didn't watch that.
If you watch it, you're gonna have to watch it with a heck of a lot of alcohol, because that movie requires a drinking game.
I just don't know if I can. I don't know if I want to do that. I love that series too much.
Yeah, don't punish yourself unless you really want to.
Then again, I watched
It's
through
a
this anime.
bad. It's a really, really bad adaptation. But we're not here to.
Yes.
We're not here for that.
We are here for
like-
Xenosaga.
Yes, we're here to
Yeah.
talk about Madoka Magica.
Exactly. It's our podcast.
Moving on.
But one thing I mentioned was that
Moving
I
on.
felt that Final Fantasy Brotherhood did a good job of being like a supplemental to the game.
Mm-hmm.
And
We were talking
it-
about Full Metal Alchemist, and you just really confused me by saying Final Fantasy Brotherhood
I'm
for a
very
second.
sorry.
And then I understood because I've seen that too.
Yeah. No, the one where they're just like, hey, here's what the guys were up to before they were in a video game. And, you know,
Even the Dot Hack games had prequel animes that were actually done well.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they were
yeah,
good.
like, it's
Like, every
possible.
time somebody's like, I want to talk about a video game as an isekai, the first thing I do is point straight to Dot Hack Sign.
Yes, .x.
Yeah, and there's other game adaptations that I think are much better than Xenosaga. It's not hard to do, but you compare that to something like Persona 4, the animation, not the golden one, the first animation, and that one was pretty good because it works even if you didn't watch Persona. You can still watch it and enjoy it, but if you did watch Persona, then you'll catch all the little Easter eggs, all the nods to some of the dialogue choices, and the fans of the game can appreciate that.
I believe you mean to, even if you didn't play Persona.
Yeah.
Try that again.
No, he was saying that
Well,
if you didn't play it, you would enjoy it, but if you did, you would catch...
you can enjoy it on its own term, but
No,
if you
it's-
did, then Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's and I think that's what you should do if you're trying to adapt like a game into an anime. You want to have something that like can work on its own, but also be something cool for the fans. Like for Xenosaga, the first like 6 episodes seemed like it was kind of trying to do its own thing. Like it was like, oh, we're gonna make this story that's kind of familiar, but we're gonna change it a bit. And honestly, I wouldn't have even been opposed to that. But the problem is they don't even really commit to that. They start to change things with Virgil, but then in the second half, things just get really weird. The pacing gets terrible. They're just jumping around all over the place to the point where even somebody who knows a story is completely lost. So, so with this one, I feel like this anime could have been a lot better if they had more episodes. Like if this was like a 24 episode series, I think they would have had a lot more time to flesh things out, a lot more time to explain the lore, explain the technology better, explain the acronyms, give more to the characters, give us more time to really understand the characters. And I think it could have been interesting to see another side of certain characters. It would have been nice if we got to see like another side of Virgil, since obviously we didn't get to see a whole lot of him in the game. I think that's just one big missed opportunity, that they have him along longer, but like they don't really do much with that anyways. Right. So it just kind of comes off like, well, then what the hell's the point of the show?
He's there.
Given that this was produced in 2004, do you guys know anything about the production circumstances, or are we just speculating here?
So we actually did cover a little bit of that. I know Pure had told us a lot about it in an earlier episode. I know he's particularly knowledgeable about some of the stuff that went down with the anime and some of the choices they made in terms of some of the shots.
I think the scheduling was very bad for that show.
Yeah, there's a lot that went on when it came to making this show and why it turned out the way it did. And from what I've heard from him, it sounds like that's kind of its own rabbit hole.
Do we even want to explore that here, or should I just go look up whichever episode of the podcast that is?
That's like episode 2 or 3.
Yeah, it was one of the earlier ones. I remember Pure went into detail with that, yeah.
Alright, I'll go listen to that later. Don't want to bore the fans.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, I think like what if they wanted to have an anime, what they could have done is basically what Brotherhood did, where it's just like, let's take a side story and make it a supplement to the game, so
yeah, that
you don't need the full, like if they just adapted Pied Piper, it might have been better.
That would have been cool.
That would have been really cool.
I would love to see like almost like a sci-fi police procedural style Pied Piper series or something, you know?
Yeah.
And honestly, I agree. Like the whole Brotherhood thing, it was supplementary in a way that kind of fleshed out some characters' backstories and gave them a bit more development without going into the details of plot in the actual game itself too much. It was like stuff you could do without, but it's stuff that really helps when it comes to character building.
I will say that a leg up that Brotherhood had, Final Fantasy Brotherhood had, is that people are familiar with the general Final Fantasy setting, and Xenosaga was more of a novel thing, so... But that said, like, again, with Pied Piper, I think it would take, 2 seconds to go, they are in the space future. Excellent.
That said, I think there's still quite a few things, since every Final Fantasy is different, there was quite a few things to, like, set up. And they did a good job with the just, hey, people will understand if you show them what's going on and don't spell every little thing out for them.
Do you guys think that they should ever try anime adaptations again with any Xeno game at this point?
I think they should.
I think they could. And
yeah,
they should.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think they will? Maybe a miniseries like they did with, like, didn't Kid Icarus have one? Yeah. Something like that. But I don't think anything big, unless Nintendo completely changes what they do now. Which,
actually, that's
who knows?
I feel like
honestly,
Torna would.
I feel like Captain N, but with Xeno, I don't give a shit. Just make it. Like, I don't care.
I feel like Xenoblade 2 Torna would. was gonna say, I feel like Xenoblade 2 Torna would lend itself really well to a short anime series.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
I
That would
agree
be
with
really
that.
good. Yeah.
And I would love to see what they could do as far as like fleshing out, like not that for what they had there for the time and everything considered. I think Torna did an excellent job with its characters, but I would love to see a little bit more of the in between stuff that we kind of just have to, assume things about.
Yeah, I feel like if they had a series that would allow it to seem more drawn out, because Torna, the time span that it covers felt very short.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of things that are just kind of like offhandedly mentioned in side quests in that series that could be really fleshed out quite well in something like an anime.
Yeah, I feel like Xenoblade 2 especially would like lend itself to an anime very well, but it would be like, slice of life. Here's some shit the Blades are doing now. Here they are doing some Merc missions.
Yeah.
Cool stuff.
Is it Xenoblade X that was the one that was a full open world?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like if they were going to do an anime adaptation for that, it would have to turn out something like the Fate series, which I could see going either really, really well or absolutely abysmally, depending upon how well put together their structure of plot and their ideas of what exactly they want to depict could
Well,
go.
if it's like the Fate
X-
series, it could be both at the same time because some Fate series,
Yeah.
some parts of the Fate series are really freaking good, and some are just kind of like,
Yeah.
maybe skip that one.
I
Well,
think
to
with
me,
X, if they did like a prequel, here's Earth getting ready for this Exodus, that would be pretty good. Or could be good.
Yeah, I would appreciate that.
Yeah.
oh, that would be great.
And
yeah.
it would at least, because with Xenoblade Cross, the issue is that you have the Rook to customize, so you'd have to plan around him, because showing him would be weird. In the same way that, like, Mass Effect novels have to never have Shepard in them.
Yeah. Which they could easily, make it.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's impossible, I'm just saying that, like, it prevents certain things from being told.
I think it'd be more interesting if they just focused it on, like, Elma or something like that.
Yeah,
Yes.
like a...
Yeah, just give us Elma's backstory.
Yeah, exactly. Give
That'd
us
be
more
great.
Elma.
Yeah.
Just give us Elma being like, hey...
Yeah, do a movie.
Yeah, that
That'd
would
be
be
cool.
wonderful.
And,
And I honestly hope that with the success of Blade 2 and Definitive Edition, they do take a few more risks and branch out the whole media franchise. That would be wonderful.
That would be.
But I think that Xenosaga the animation was a flop.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because Saga, I think, had potential for that format.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
think
it
that
really
in some
did.
ways yes, but in some ways no, because as Cilantro was saying, like, there are a lot of terms that are just thrown at you, and technically speaking, if you just play the game, like, purely, you will have a lot of terms thrown at you that you never get to find, because the only place they're defined is the database. So if you aren't checking the database, then there's just shit thrown at you, and you're like, what is this? It's not defined within story. So a thing that I was like going, maybe they could do this, although it wouldn't be a wonderful solution, is if like in all of the little eye catches they had a definition that would at least provide the audience more information, although it still would be an extra thing.
Even still, I'm not sure just throwing the definitions in the eye catches would speed up enough to actually keep up with the conversation.
No, because like
It'd be better than nothing, but still not great.
I mean,
Yeah,
with
it's episode 1. Finally, you know what UMN is. Episode 2. Now we'll get around to what an eggs is.
yeah, I can see how a series like Xenosaga, especially, which I feel its best medium probably is just being a game in general because of how difficult pacing anything in that is because of just all of that. There's just so much in there.
Oh yes, one more thing for the listeners. While we were watching this, between episodes I kept asking approximately how many gameplay hours have passed, and by the time we got to episode 4, everybody gave me a completely different answer.
Well, again, at the time it was still, like, I don't really know how to answer this because they're jumping around. And some things they would stretch out more, and some things were like, okay, and this section of game is just done now, and this section of game never even happened.
Yeah, and then they showed stuff out of order, and also, like, us as a group, we're all pretty different when it comes to how long we spend playing these games, as I'm finding.
Like, even on average, like, we all pretty much agreed that episode 1 covered the first 2 hours.
Yeah.
And episode 2 was another 3 hours, I believe. I gotta shuffle through all my papers. Yeah, episode 2 ends at about 3 hours. Episode 3 is 6 hours question mark. After that, I got really erratic numbers.
Yeah, I guess a thing I should have done, or we should have done, is just find a walkthrough and go, this walkthrough breaks the game into this many parts, you're now in this part.
Even with a walkthrough, while it would break things into chapters very nice and neatly, given the spans of just episode 1 of Xenosaga, I still feel like they needed at least 24 episodes.
Yeah, I definitely think that.
I will say that, like, regarding the game, the first bit of it is something that I always think doesn't take as long as it does. I'm always like, yeah, that was super quick, and then I watch a playthrough, I'm like, oh, no, this drags on for a bit.
Are you talking about, like, the Woglinde?
Yeah, the Woglinde.
Yeah,
I'm
because
sorry, the
you can
Voglinde.
actually just, or yeah, however you say it, like, you can accidentally walk around in circles in that thing, thinking, hey, have I been here?
Yeah, there's a lot you could do. You could play tag, too.
I was so bad at playing tag, but then I was okay at the part where you needed to remember how to play tag.
I think I did that same thing, but I think I was the same way.
Yeah, it's like, how do I play tag? I don't know.
So...
It's like it clicked then.
So, Cilantro, after all this, how do you feel about going into the games? Did this make you worried about going into the games, or how do you feel?
Between the 3 main games that you guys have discussed, which would be Gears, Saga, and Blade, honestly, I feel like by the time I'm done, I'm still probably going to say that Blade Definitive Edition was probably the best game in terms of story. Because what we have in Gears, which we'll discuss in a different episode, but, like, that particular protagonist is a mess. That particular story is a mess. But at least there's giant robots and they're consistent about that. Blade has a coherent storyline that, even in, like, novel form, if I were to just read this out of a guidebook, I would say, hey, this makes sense. Saga, we have multiple protagonists. The main protagonist is an absolute mess. Based on what I saw out of episode 3, I'm probably going to wind up screaming a lot when I finally get to Kevin.
To be fair, you're supposed to scream at Kevin.
Okay.
When we got up to the fine romance scene in Gears, where I don't think you were supposed to be screaming about that.
No, I really am... That whole scene requires a different episode. I'm sorry I subjected HK and only HK to the, what is this garbage? Why are they attempting to do this? This is clearly the pinnacle of a bad relationship.
We want to keep listeners, okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No.
We can cut half of this. We can. I can start from the top again.
We have episodes where Pure just, says how much he hates Xeno, so this is fun.
I know. I was totally kidding, by the way.
Do you really want me to start from the top?
No.
Maybe after this.
We're keeping this. We're keeping this.
Okay. Okay. We've discussed my apprehensions with this story-wise. I already have some problems with Shion as a protagonist, but that's mostly due to her own breakup trauma that I'm hoping that she gets some serious character development in, but again, I'm not being very optimistic here. I really think that Alan deserves better, and I am very sad that he and Scott is not something that happens in the games.
Oh no, it definitely at the end, the last scene of Xenosaga, that Shion goes, thank you very much. I'm glad that you stood up for me and supported me all this time, Alan. But really, I have my own shit that I'm going through. And Alan goes, you know what? I understand. I don't know how to bring this up, but I've been seeing Scott for a while. I do still...
Actually, that would make a much better ending for me. I would be satisfied with that because that sounds like a healthy relationship.
Yeah, see, the thing is that you didn't stick around for the post-credit scene where that happens.
You actually have to beat all the super bosses to see that scene.
Yeah, when...
You gotta beat the game in under 20 hours to get that.
Under 20 hours and defeat all the super bosses.
And it has to be on the third second of the hour.
Yeah,
also,
when Alan grabs Shion's hand, he just shakes it and is like, "Have a good life," and just walks away.
You also have to have support you. You are my very good and close friend.
And also, I know this is just a thing with the franchise in general, but honestly, they lay on the Christianity motif so thick, I kind of start squicking.
Yeah, they do.
So. Like, when we had that final scene in episode 3 where it's Chaos, Shion, and that little clone boy. Or I think he's a clone? I'm like, okay, so this is... No, there's a little boy
Abel.
who you find...
You're talking about Abel?
No, I don't think he's in that.
Abel's at the end.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
There's a little
you're talking about that.
you find in some white soundproofed room.
Yeah, Abel.
Next to... Okay,
yeah,
that is Abel.
Yeah.
Alright, basically, that was a not-so-subtle reference to, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
You'll find a lot of that.
That was... Yeah, like... I will respect the Christianity motif, because you know what, why not? Let's play with some more religious texts than the usual, oh, it's weird, it's out there, it's not ours.
Look, it's Greek. Oh, ooh, look at that.
But, yeah, the amount of Christianity is kind of turning me off. So I will work my way through these games, and if I have to just put one of them down, I might.
Mm-hmm.
Alternatively, depending upon how bad they are at platforming...
There's no platforming.
Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah.
There's no platforming.
It's just, Gears is the most when it comes
the
to
only
platforming.
is pressing
yeah,
the
that
elevator
Tower of
button.
Babel...
I mean, I guess there's
the bottom part of the Tower of Babel, which
was
is horrible.
But it's not.
Okay. And I know I'm not going to be stuck playing 10 hours of Hackox like some people.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know Nick had mentioned being stuck on a handful of very gimmicky bosses, so that makes me also very apprehensive.
Not as gimmicky as Xenogears. So, yeah, there you go.
There was one boss that you spent 3 Twitch sessions on. I think that was 9 hours.
Yeah, you had that one fight where, like, you just had incredibly bad luck. Like, I've never...
Yes, there was one of those. Only in Xenosaga 3... Well, actually, okay, there were some pretty bad things in Xenosaga 2 that happened to me, but that was because that's just Xenosaga 2. This was, very out of the ordinary, and yes, that was Pellegrini.
Alright, so you're an outlier.
I guess. That was the only boss that was like that to me in that game. On that level.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think we decided it must be some emulator issue that caused Pellegrini to be awful.
I don't know what you're talking about. I used legal... No, I'm just kidding.
Well, between the length of the games and my apprehensions about 3 dimensions and my apprehensions about some of the protagonists, I will slog through these games and let you know. But I'm definitely not going to be here until probably 2021. Unless a miracle happens.
Fair enough. Disclaimer, I actually did buy all these games.
I'm glad.
They're good games.
They are.
Yeah.
I believe you. I am
checking
looking
out.
forward to it, but I'm also dreading the slog.
You already sat through Xenogears.
Yeah.
Nah.
I mean,
Yeah. And the anime.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
you-
not even trying to throw
The anime
shade
is
at
a real
Xenogears
slog.
because I love Xenogears, but if you can get through it, I think you can get through Saga.
Yeah, you can. I think Gears is longer than each individual
It
Saga
is.
game, but that's
No,
just me.
it definitely is than each individual, except for maybe 3 in
Yeah.
my opinion, but that's also not
But I will say
completely
that
fair
the
because I
fighting
played a lot of
system is much more
Pack-Offs and
simplistic.
such.
In one of the side conversations we had, I believe it was David who mentioned that the average playtime for Gears is supposed to be around 80 hours, and this is completely abnormal to other PS2 games of the same time, that most discs are somewhere between 20 and 40 hours. And the fact that they stuck 60 hours of gameplay on the first disc is mostly unheard of.
PlayStation 1.
Oh, excuse me, PlayStation 1.
I remember looking at how long to beat on that one, and I think that Xenogears said something like around 60 to 70 something hours. I don't remember.
Yeah, and then we have Speed Demon over here who did it in under 50.
No, it was 58, I think.
I mean,
think
if
that's
I'm going to be
about
honest,
6.
I'm on how long to beat right now, and it says main story, average 56
Okay.
hours.
I knew it was
56
close
and a
to
half
60.
hours.
And I know
Yeah.
that I put in a lot more than that, but to be fair, I tend to walk away from games pause for long amounts of time at times, so that was probably what happened on that one for me.
Fair, and then when you come back from the hiatus, you're all relearning the controls, but everything is so ultra high level, you're like, oh crap, so you keep dying.
Maybe not that. Well, I mean, it won't count the hours that you died in it during because you lost that part of the save, but
Well, for me, you also have the fun of, let me go pick this game up. Where was I? Let me walk in a circle. What was I doing? Let me go over here. Let me check my menu. What was I doing? Let me walk in a circle.
that actually reminds me, I did grind out like almost every character's death blows.
Alright, how much grinding should I be expecting?
You don't have to do that.
A lot.
Oh, wait.
If you're gonna be doing all the death blows, then yeah, that could
If we're
take a
talking
while.
Xenosaga, only on 2. Well, you have to worry too much about grinding.
I had
Yeah.
to grind out 1 point in the first game because I was like, oh, I guess I'm under-leveled. But then again, I also like to be over-leveled because I'm bad at video games.
Well, you've also
Yes.
seen me run through Final Fantasy IV being like, oh, I can do story, I can do more story, I can do yet more story. Oh
Yeah,
crap,
I mean, there was, like, the-
I got a new character and he's severely underleveled, but I don't want to grind. I'm going to continue with the story, and then I die.
Yeah, there were like the 5
I am
hours
curious to
that I
see
had
how
to grind for you in
you-
Gears because you didn't want to, and I'm like, you're gonna die at the next boss then?
That was because
I
you
will s-
volunteered, otherwise I would have done
Yeah, I
it.
know. But I like the game.
I will say, Cilantro, I am kind of curious to see what you think of Saga 2's battle system. That's the one that's a bit divisive.
Don't worry, I will sit in and backseat game for you on that one.
My
My
give you the
pleasure.
authentic experience.
Yeah, assuming I get a webcam.
My pleasure. I'm just kidding. I won't do that to you. But if you need help, feel
That's the
free
one
to ask.
that is weird.
Oh gosh. Yeah, the number of menus that I remember you going through in episode 3 was like, that's a lot.
Oh, wait till you see 2. That was nothing.
I'm scared now.
3 actually streamlined things. 2 is the one where they really try to. It's not that they try to overcomplicate it.
Honestly,
It's that they had
the system is not that bad.
they had a really good system. It's just it's terribly balanced.
Yes, that's exactly the point I will continuously make, is that if they had balanced like the just the simple numbers, like if they'd fine-tuned it where it is not just a pain to fight everything in there because, oh, this thing has super high HP, oh, I only deal this much damage, it would have been a lot better. But no, they're just like, everything that you fight in that game, almost everything, feels like it's trying to be a boss fight or something like that. Because it's just like, instead of doing all the right things to deal massive damage to a level where it's like, oh, I almost killed this thing, or oh, I killed this thing, it's like, that's just how you deal damage at all. Otherwise, you're just like throwing peanuts at it.
It'll make more sense when you actually play it.
So-
When you hear us like talking about it out of context, you're gonna be like, "Wait, what?"
No, I think I understand what you're trying to say. It's just like, okay, so whatever damage number they gave me when I'm a... Yeah, that was a horrible sentence. Whatever damage my character will deal on whatever enemy I face, I just move the decimal point over to.
It's kind
Sort
of okay.
of.
So if you played Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, or yeah.
Yes, I did beat
yeah,
that.
so you know how like whenever you hit the button on time and you get a little bit of bonus damage.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so that is not required to beat the game. You
Correct.
do the good thing that's a little bit extra in addition to making the right decisions, and you get a little bit extra so you can beat the guy faster. Well, in this game, it's like, if you don't do the extra thing, which, by the way, is imagine having to hit that button times 10 to do the right thing in the first place, just to deal the amount of a damage that's appropriate at all, like not to deal bonus damage, but just to deal anything that's worth anything. It's like that. That's what Xenosaga 2 is like.
Yeah, and then you have to set up to do that one attack.
Yeah, for like 3 turns on average.
So imagine like all your attacks doing like half of what they should be doing under normal circumstances, but in order for you to do 100% damage, you have to waste 2 to 3 extra turns.
Oh, so this
beforehand.
is basically all of the frickin' gear fights again.
Kinda. It's a little bit
But
worse.
worse.
Yeah, it's kind of like, hey, you want to deal this more this much damage? Well, you better focus for 3 turns, and then you better do these set of attacks in the right order, using the right, inputs, and then, maybe you'll get this much damage off them. Oh, and that's just normal damage. That's not anything special. You're not going to beat the enemy, but...
Oh, yeah, and if you pick the wrong option even once, you gotta do the whole thing over
and
again.
also you're playing a guessing game at the same time, because until you guess which particular prompts this enemy is weak to, unless you're using a guide that just tells you all of them, you're kind of screwed on that.
So basically, to answer your question, Jin, I am feeling a lot of foreboding, ominous woe.
Oh. Well, hopefully you'll...
I don't see why you guys like this game so much. I don't. If it treats you this
'Cause we're
horribly.
Because we're idiots.
We all have an inclination
That's all I could
towards
say.
masochism.
Xenosaga 2 is an amazing movie. And also could be an amazing game. And I am definitely glad that I played through it. But, I just wish it were more balanced, because it's like the kind of game that I play, and I could cry at this game, because it's got so much potential to be so amazing, and it just doesn't do it right in the end. But I will still back it up on a lot of things. Just, yeah.
Well, hopefully you'll find some enjoyment from the Xenosaga series when you get around to playing them.
I will get back to you when I'm done with episode 1. We'll come back for a new episode
Alright.
of, that noob plays
Yes,
Xeno,
those will be...
the guinea
We
pig.
should, write a jingle for that.
Jingle, gosh.
Watch that new play Xeno.
Oh, guys, if we need to write that jingle now so that when all these episodes get published, we can play it at the beginning.
Oh my gosh, and just...
I just wrote
yes.
it. There you go.
Alright, that sounds good.
Sing for us.
Alright, so I guess this is probably a good place to stop, unless there's any more closing thoughts on the Xenosaga anime.
I think we're done with the anime. That anime was horrible,
Let's
and
erase it
I'm
from our
sorry that I
brains.
wasted my life.
Oh.
And all of yours.
Alright.
I enjoyed
well, I guess next time we talk with you, Cilantro, we'll probably be talking about your experience with Xenogears once you finish that. So that's...
Yeah, hopefully that won't be too much longer.
We'll see how long it takes to fix the PlayStation.
Yes, I hope that the PlayStation 2 will be repaired.
Yeah, it should be repaired within the week.
Throw a blanket off.
I should be able to finish Final Fantasy IV before we get that PlayStation back.
We shall see.
Right. Okay. Well, I guess we'll kind of just wrap things up, go around, and if there's anything you want to plug or share, you can do so. We'll start with you, Justin.
Yeah, I don't really have too much to plug at the moment. Yeah, I haven't really been doing a whole lot. I've been playing some games. I just finished 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, and it's absolutely incredible. You guys need to go buy this game and play it. It is amazing. Game of the year, possibly top 10 game. It's so good. Like, oh my goodness!
Sponsored by Vanillaware.
I'm at a loss of words to like describe that game and how good it is.
So good.
It really is. There's nothing else quite like it out there. You need to check it out.
I'm definitely going to.
All right. Well, since you just spoke, how about you, Nick? What are you up to?
Well, I haven't posted a lot on Twitter recently or anything, but I did just get back from a big sort of vacation-y thing where I managed to find a way to vacation without getting out and seeing people by going out and hiking in the western area of America. And wow, that was interesting. But I did play a few little things. I didn't really hook up my Switch but to any TVs, and my Joy-Con has been really weird this past week, so I was playing mostly a lot of little, like, side-scrolling games that I can play on the D-pad. I actually played through Momodora, Reverie Under the Moonlight. That's a really good game, and it's not very long, so I'll recommend that, I guess. And I also recently finished Yakuza 0, so that one I can't recommend enough to people. I put in way more hours, as I found out, than Justin did, but it's because there's so much side content to do in that game that I could just be playing, like, any of the mini-games, like Mahjong, learning how to play that, or failing really badly at shogi, or... Yeah, there's a lot of other games that are actually really fun in that, and maybe those are your thing too, but all I'm saying is that there's so much side content in that game that, yeah, it is a game that can be beaten relatively quickly if you just go through the story, but if you do any extra stuff, you can actually find yourself just spending a day on some of the side content. So yeah.
It is very easy to get lost in Yakuza 0, and that's another game that I also highly recommend. It's one of my favorite video games just ever. It's absolutely incredible.
I would definitely say that too. I still have...
Yeah.
I mean, I still plan to even go back to it, because I had a few sub-stories that I didn't get to do. And those are, like, amazing in their own right.
Yeah, it's really good, and a lot of people still ask, like, where do I start with Yakuza? I know the new one's coming out really soon, and apparently the new one, you can play it without having played the other ones, but I still see people make threads about, oh, I don't know where to start with Yakuza, which game do I play first? Play 0. It's cheap today, too. Like, there's no way you're going to be spending much money on Yakuza 0 at this point. Just get it. Like, seriously, just buy it. It's on Steam. It's on PS4. Go buy it. It's really, really good. You're not going to regret it. And, like, if for whatever reason you think the beat-em-up sections are stupid, there's so many mini games that are just so fun. The pocket racers, the club mini games. There's the Sega arcade games in there. There's ports of Outrun and Space Harrier. You can just play those. You can play the Mahjong, Shogi. Like, the list just goes on. The game just keeps giving you interesting stuff to see and do.
If there's like a game that you've wanted to learn, that is a good game to teach you how to learn some of those games. I can't claim that I actually learned how to play Mahjong. I learned a little bit of how, but there's still just like a lot to it I was missing. However, I do feel like I learned a lot about Hanafuda, and I really enjoy that game now. So it's definitely good for that kind of stuff, at very least. And, don't feel any shame if you turn it to like an easier thing just to get through the beat 'em up sections, because the story is definitely worth it.
We are definitely not sponsored by Sega either. But anyway,
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Justin and I are
Robin.
passionate about that game, so...
Yeah, we are. I've sold Yakuza 0 to quite a few people.
Okay, Robin, what are you up to?
While everybody else was playing good games, I beat Secret of Evermore. So now nobody else has to play that game. You're all welcome.
Thank you.
Now, there's Secret of Evermore.
Hey, I was
fans out there.
impressed.
Can you do a Let's Play
Yeah.
of Secret of Evermore?
It's already been done. It's been done by somebody who had more enthusiasm than me. I just stuck
glad
with
to
it
hear.
because every time I let it go, I just remembered that my younger self would be not disappointed, just like, wow, this game really is impossible. And I'd be like, yeah, you're right, younger self. This game sucks.
My grandmother sent her congratulations because she never beat that game either.
It's
Say,
not worth
you
it.
impressed your younger self. That's amazing.
Yeah. Outside of that, though, no news. Haven't
Oh.
really been doing anything.
Okay. Well, how about you, Cilantro?
Until that PS2 gets fixed, I'm going through Grandma's game collection, which includes more JRPGs than you probably have heard of.
They're basically popular game titles. I'd say people have heard of them.
No, there's a handful in there that are really far out there that I did not find very much information on.
Paladin's Quest?
I mean, that was one of the ones that was really gimmicky.
Which one?
We went over the whole list a really long time ago. I guess I could revise my statement, but a lot of these are before Square and Enix were one company. Anyways, Grandma didn't beat all of these games, so I'm going to try.
Nice.
Or the ones I can't beat, then I won't.
You're welcome. About Secret
Not
of
gonna
Evermore.
try Zelda. I'm not touching
You
Evermore
shouldn't.
ever
No one should
again.
touch Evermore. It's not a good game.
I'm selling that game.
I'll be happy to see it go.
Should not
They
touch
should
Evermore forevermore.
Yeah, touch it nevermore.
Yes.
Pretty much. And I'm definitely gonna beat Final Fantasy IV at some point, very, very soon. I'm pretty close to the
I
end.
want to say, quoth the Raven, fuck this game.
Basically.
You're
I
not.
mean, it has like 5 moments of charm, but then it has gameplay.
It has so many gameplay quirks. Like, oh my gosh.
It's not good.
It wants to be Back to the Future, but it failed miserably.
It wants to
Also,
be good.
all of those random cameos, they could have done a lot better. Like, Cecil was the shopkeep in some random ghost town. And he's like, oh yeah, Rosa and I retired here. Well, where the frick is Rosa's sprite?
To be fair, they didn't really have Cecil's sprite either. They just had random armor guy.
You can't show her, she's bedridden.
Well, they're all probably old and gray at this point. And they had everybody from Final Fantasy VI in that one
the Colosseum.
Coliseum
The
match.
Colosseum match at least had some good dialogue where they do refer to you as some loser with a stick.
But you had so many problems with getting that guy. That was just a really
I
obnoxious
didn't
fight.
understand the game mechanics in my defense, but also the game mechanics
Well-
suck. Even when you understand
Well,
them.
yeah, actually, even before that, the very, very first boss fight, that,
Yeah, it has a weird difficulty curve where the first boss fight is somehow the hardest, and then the last boss fight, I stood behind it and stabbed it with a spear until it died, and it couldn't touch me.
that first boss fight should have been moved, like, halfway through the game. It had way too many things going on in there for somebody who was basically level 1.
And then the last boss fight, you stand behind it, stab it with a spear until it dies.
Yeah, you don't even need the bazooka.
Actually, no, I did use the bazooka just to make it go faster.
Wow.
Because I bought all that ammo, so I was just like, fuck it, bazooka till you're dead.
What if the
That's
what if
fair.
the first boss is the last boss? Anyway.
If the first boss was the last boss, that would have made a whole lot more sense, but instead the first boss is the first boss where you, like, use up all your items. I think the second boss was also a complete pain in the ass, but then the last 2 bosses were like, I fell asleep and they were already dead.
Mm-hmm. Also, that one maze.
Oh, that maze can go fuck itself.
Yeah.
There's a swamp maze where, to me, most of the problem was just that the guidebook had the maze, but it had, like, it wasn't labeled properly. So I was trying to follow that, and I'm like, wait, what? Where the fuck do I go? Like, one of the labels for a teleporter was supposed to take you off of the map entirely.
Oh, that wasn't the maze I was thinking of, but yeah, also that maze can fuck itself.
There were a few mazes. Anyway, it's a shitty game. Don't play it.
Yeah, there. Thank goodness that my grandmother's handwriting is on most of those books. It's like...
Shout out to Grandma Cilantro.
Yeah, shout out to my grandmother. She got the correct path through the, what was that? You know the one after the, Foot Knight? That forest was a bitch. Yeah, reading that map was nigh impossible, but she had marker scribbled the correct path through the whole maze.
Oh,
Awesome.
nice.
I will take some pictures of this thing before I sell it so you guys can appreciate my grandmother.
And so you can appreciate the shitty map, too. Take a picture of that
also
piece
the
of
map
garbage.
is absolutely horrible.
Fantastic.
Tyler, what are you working on?
Nothing really either. I've been playing 13 Sentinels as well. I'm like only 30% through the story, so I'm going really slow. But I'm really enjoying it.
I'm only 30, so I'm going really slow.
Well, I'm almost 32, so I am also going really slow, so both are correct.
I have the game. I'm at 0% though.
And I've also been balancing that with Hades, which has been kind of fun. I don't play a lot of games like that, but it's been enjoyable. I suck at it.
I like all the games I've played by that company. The only one I had not played other than Hades is what was that one called? The one that's like a sports game? Pyre,
yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one I haven't played by them, but I've watched some playthroughs of Hades, and that game looks really good. I really like what they do. And even as similar as some of their games kind of are in ways to stuff like Diablo, I guess, and me not being a fan of Diablo, those are great games.
Yeah, I played Bastion when I was in college, I think, and I remember liking it, but I have Transistor, but I haven't played much.
Dude,
I've been tempted
You need to play Transistor. It is like the best game they've made, I think.
I'm terrible and kind of want to rebuy it on my Switch, but
do it. I actually did.
Yeah, I gotta play their games. Because I'm pretty sure I bought Bastion like twice, and I don't think I've ever done a full playthrough of it.
Kind of...
And I think I might actually have Transistor as well.
Bastion kind of plays a little bit like... it kind of reminds me of like an isometric Zelda in a way. I guess it's closer to Diablo, but it has like controller controls, not click the mouse thing. Well, I mean, I guess you can play it that way too on the PC version. But
Bastion's the one with like the dynamic narrator,
actually,
right?
both that and a lot of their games have that.
Yeah.
But Transistor, you can actually play almost like a turn-based RTS style, or like RTS mix thing, where you can plan out your entire turn. Like, you can do all your move actions set up all your move actions in the turn and then execute it, or you can just play it like an action game. And I love that about it. It is really fun.
Yeah, I know it's currently on sale for Switch for like $4, so
and the soundtrack is
it.
So good. The soundtrack is so freaking good.
And we are not sponsored by Supergiant Games either.
Or Secret of Evermore.
Well, definitely not Secret of Evermore.
Just put all the disclaimers in the episode notes.
Yes, I will probably put these in the notes.
So this has been an episode about all things other than Xenosaga games. I'm kidding.
We're a fan cast. We don't get money for anything, so we're not sponsored by anybody. We're just some people on the internet with opinions.
Xenogears is God, I was going to try to go through the Magnus Archives ending. Anyway.
All right. So,
All right. Does anyone have anything else to plug? Or mention or shout out?
no, I think we're good. For future, so one day we will return with Cilantro to talk about Xenogears, but besides that, we are going to have a not connections, but like references episode between all the different Xeno games. I want to record it this month, but we might have to push it again. I'm not certain. But other than that, I don't think we have anything else planned for the foreseeable future. But if any listeners or anyone that's here right now have any ideas that they want to pass around or for us to talk about for future episodes, please do so.
We might do another community poll since we have like a whole mess of episode ideas.
Oh yeah, we have a ton in our document. But yeah, we also have an email address if you want to contact us directly. It's XenoChatPodcast@gmail.com. Anyway, I think that does it. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining us for that discussion tonight. It's really fun. Even if the anime is not so fun, it was fun talking to you guys.
It's been a lot of fun. Hope I serve the fans well.
I like watching bad things.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
See ya.
Hey.
Take care, everybody.
Save the game?
So has this
Yeah, let
become
me
a
see if I
thing
can
where
find it.
we start the recording early and just have our banter in here just in case something gets said?
Yeah, this is just in case we accidentally do
Okay.
something funny.
Yeah.
I haven't done that way very much, so I was just making sure.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
why
this is
we're
like-
still
and
talking
I think this-
cash.
Yeah, I think this is like the second time we've done this, so it's all right.
I can't give up here.
Sorry, I should stop looking up body count lyrics already.
Okay,
Tell me about yourself,
from
Stuart.
User.
See, look what I can do.
Yeah.
Well, how long does it take for you between recording and actually uploading?
Varies.
Like a month. I mean, sometimes
Yeah,
quicker.
it takes a while.
Even I can do it.
Well, I think
And
you have
then-
like a whole rant about like fucking the bloomin' onion.
Bloomin' onion.
Oh, yeah, that was the spaceship. That
Okay,
was,
we'll
was
get
that,
to it. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
Was that
Um,
the Kukai?
I have this random note up here that says Matthews is the anti-Bishonen fish.
Fish?
Fish?
I think that's what Fish said.
Oh.
Remember
okay.
why Fish was in there? There's a
Oh!
different onion.
Part of the
Okay.
descriptor.
Oh, okay.
There's a different
Okay.
onion. Oh my god. There's a different random note here that says why. Where's the Y fish?
Yeah, because that actually doesn't show up in the anime.
And it says titty stab.
Thank you.
By the way,
Yeah.
that song I was trying to think of before we start, it's called Institutionalized 2014 because it's a remake of another song by Suicidal Tendencies, but they put in their own lyrics. And I'll tell you more about that after the show, I guess.
I guess.
It's pretty fucking funny. Oh, and I also forgot to mention that on our playlist for the trip, I also put some Chowder Man from Kevin No Space Outlaw, which is all by Hot Dad, so that was pretty good.
How many DILFs are in this fandom?
Oh my god, I already told you about Hot Dad.
You know, okay, Hot Dad has nothing to do with Xeno.
No.
Alright, fine. Be like that.
Actually, I think I sent you one of Hot Dad's songs, like, before we moved in. Because I was saying I really like this cover, and then I, like, found it, and it was by Hot Dad.
I have one blank piece of paper that says phallic shot of onion ship, CF flower pot ship in Xenogears.
I definitely know what ship that is.
I have no idea what Hot Dad is.
Oh, Hot Dad?
He did Granny Cream hot butter ice cream.
What the fuck?
Is that
Take the hot butter,
is that a song or is that an actual ice cream?
That's a song.
It's a song.
Okay.
About butter ice cream.
It's a hot butter ice cream that is a fake brand in the video
Did you
game.
see videos of people actually trying to make Granny Cream the hot butter ice cream?
No, I've not.
What?
But that sounds
It's
amazing.
hilarious because people will melt their butter on ice cream and then they'll be like, wow, it becomes painful shards, which are delicious and not bad.
How does... See, it's called hot butter ice cream, but the way it's described in the song, I thought it was just like ice cream that was actually melted.
It's hot butter that you pour over ice cream.
Oh. Well, then why is it called hot butter ice cream?
Because the butter is hot.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
You put the hot butter on the ice cream.
Watch me, Chief.
How am I the sober one tonight?
I'm
okay.
sober.
I mean, I'm not there yet.
So
if it makes
the hosts
you
are
feel
sober.
better. I'm not there yet. It's been a while since I've talked to people besides the people I live with. So,
Fair. You're drunk on people.
Drunk on
yeah,
people.
I'm high on life and drunk
It's not
on
a bad
people.
thing to be.
Wait a minute, are you serious?
One time I
Alright.
played the 10-hour loop of Granny Cream hot butter ice cream at my previous job, and I was asked to never play music again.
Oh.
Wait,
I
for everyone?
Just for the group that I was working with, so about 3 people, self-included.
I don't think they were wrong to object.
Those people will never reclaim the part of their life that they lost.
They
Yeah.
weren't going to reclaim it no matter what I played. I just wanted to make sure they understood what was going on in my brain at all times. And what's going
Once
on in
you
my
hear
brain.
it, you don't stop hearing it.
Yeah, basically, it just becomes a sleeper agent song that's waiting to be activated.
No.
Don't know what's gonna happen, and then it says Granny Cream's hot butter ice cream. Take the hot
Yeah.
butter, mix it with the ice
No,
cream. Heat
that-
it up,
that's
cool,
caramel
you can see it
dancing.
on the screen. Pour it in,
I'm
put
not
it in
sure
the
if-
microwave. Make it real hot, like a soup or a dip. We call it heap and sip. Very
honestly-
tasty and
I'm gonna
healthy,
mute
too.
you.
Granny Cream's.
Hey, this is some good Patreon content.
I'm honestly not sure if Hot Dad actually wrote that or if that was like part of some MK Ultra shit.
That was by Hot Dad.
I know I was joking.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought it was a genuine question. I'm sorry.
That the joke was how badly it gets stuck in your head that it's like maybe it's part of a mind control experiment.
Oh, if that was true, then it would have been Caramel Dawson because that made a resurgence this year.
Oh, I know.
Did it
But
really?
it made the resurgence where people are like dead listening to it. Like,
Justin, did I not dump on you like a half a dozen memes of
You
Caramel
did, but, like,
Dawson?
You did, but I didn't realize that it was really like a resurgence. I thought it
No,
was
it
just like a couple
actually
people.
did.
Just wow.
But it was like the 2020 edition where instead of people happy and dancing,
People were just face down on the floor while the house was flashing
Sorry.
bright colors.
I shouldn't have taken a drink of whiskey before trying to say that, I guess.
I can do it when I try.
How much alcohol is consumed on XenoChat?
I think we kind of set a weird precedent with our first watch party.
Oh god, yeah.
Listen,
Oh.
I'm drinking very slowly. It's okay.
I'm not even drinking. That's on you guys.
That's your problem.
I'm not drinking either.
I guess it's because
We'll
you guys
see.
are the hosts.
If
You get
weren't
water.
drinking-
Oh no, trust me, that hasn't stopped me. I've cracked the beer into the mic before.
Listen,
Oh,
I just
really?
have
I
came
think
back
I've-
from a long trip and I'm tired and need to wind down, and this is part of that.
I think I've drank on, well, a few times.
Yeah.
Alright, you guys get to steal some Crystal Light packets.
Oh no, not the aspartame.
Alright, do you want to attempt this thing?
Not bad for me.
Can I call for a brief pause?
Yes.
Sure.
Sure.
Thank you.
Oh.
I'm going to call for a brief pause and mute myself. Where did my mute button go? Here it is.
Alright,
Are we all Oh, never mind.
Or we're keep recording.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, there's a very large mosquito on my ceiling, and I have no idea where it came from, and now it is really scaring me.
Can I just say that Tony is probably the closest character to Sonic in there? Probably.
Look at the episode schedule.
Alright, so, we can call Chaos Shadow the Hedgehog.
Sure.
Oh,
Alright.
I found a Tony the Hedgehog OC.
Oh.
Oh my god!
Oh wow, I gotta check this out. That's amazing. I love that he has, just like a flowing spike of hair over one of his eyes that is apparently...
It's kind of crazy. Like, you can do pretty much any name. Should you like your name, then the Hedgehog, you'll find art for it.
It looks like he dipped his
That's
hair
terrifying.
in, like, dark chocolate or something.
Hold on, I'm about to do Justin the Hedgehog. See what comes up.
Oh gosh, now I'm scared.
What?
Tony the Hedgehog has the power to control nature.
What?
Justin the Hedgehog.
Oh.
That kind of reminds me of like the other echidnas from Knuckles' Tribe's attire a little bit.
There's a couple of them.
Ugh, this is screaming early 2000s.
Sonic the Hedgehog just kind of screams. It's his original time period. Well, actually,
Sonic the Hedgehog screams 1993.
yeah, he just kind of screams his time period.
Oh, there it is.
Wow. This kid, whoever did this last one, was watching a lot of Sonic Underground.
Yikes.
Oh.
Okay, I'm feeling like 2005 DeviantArt again. Ugh.
Okay, this last one is a lot more wholesome.
Oh.
There we go.
Finally, an actual hedgehog.
Just in the apple?
Why does this have to happen to me?
Wait, what game is HK playing?
Wait a second. That's not what I...
Is it Tails again?
I think she's still in Trails in the Sky, so it looks like,
That's Trails?
That's... no, that's not Trails in the Sky.
Oh, no, that's not.
That's,
That doesn't look like Cold Steel, though.
yeah, it doesn't look like Cold Steel either.
Wait, is this that one new... That
Is it Genshin?
Genshin? Yeah, it looks...
Oh,
like
it
that?
probably is.
Oh, it is Genshin, yep.
Impact, yeah.
I tried to download it on my phone, but it was like, you don't have enough space.
I
Then
need to
stopped.
get it on Switch or something.
Well, you need to delete Love Live.
What?
I don't have that.
I jest. The joke missed the target really badly.
Sorry.
I'll take it back.
It only works if you know what Love Live is. No, I'm kidding.
I don't...
You don't?
Barely know what it is.
I know a little bit about
Oh,
what
God.
it is.
I'm very surprised you don't, or have never heard
I've
of it.
heard
at least.
of it, but I don't know what it... I've heard the name. that's
Okay.
it.
It's an idol anime.
No,
Yeah.
it's a rhythm game
Yeah,
that turned into... That is about 9 playable characters, with technically each one of them... there's something about, like, combining them to get better bonuses, etc., etc. Apparently, if you have too many of them, they have to cannibalize each other.
Oh.
But anyways,
What?
but besides that mechanic, all I know is that it got an anime very soon after the app dropped, and there was some ridiculous argument about the rights that when the English version of the game dropped for iOS and Android, the anime did not drop for at least a year, which means that it was actually a pathetic flop in the English dub. And I used to know a few people who had actually broken their phones playing Love Live. That's how addicted they were.
Holy crap.
Huh.
Yeah.
If they're breaking their phone playing Love Live, they're doing something ridiculously wrong. You shouldn't be
Well,
breaking
they
your phone playing that
downloaded
game.
both the English version and the Japanese version, which both of them take up a hell of a lot of space. But then again, this was back when, like, iPhone 4 was the shit.
Oh, I thought you mean broke as in, like, they punched their screen too hard with, like, their fingers.
No, they
instead of
actually
playing
deadened
it.
parts of the screen playing Love Live.
The rhythm was too much.
That's like back in the day.
Also,
with
if I
elite
ever have to
agents.
hear that fucking tambourine ever again, I'm gonna go postal.
I have to question some of the people you hung out with.
I mean, don't we all?
No, yeah, I mean, to some degree.
not wrong.
True.
This is what happens when you have a bachelor's degree in weebology.
Fair enough.
Ah, Chief!
It's cool.
Oh, welcome back.
All right,
about that.
no, we just cut everything between you leaving and you coming back.
It could be
What
bloopers.
horrible thing was said?
Oh no.
Evangelion.
I was hoping it was, whenever you said welcome Brack, I was hoping Brack from the Brack show starring Brack was here.
I wish I could do a Brack impression, but I sadly can't.
Boy, that movie sure looked good. Oh, it's coming to my neighborhood.
Is that close enough?
Yeah, well, yeah, it was brilliant.
I don't really want to do this.
And the
Frick,
Elsa
that
has to
mosquito
go
got
into
close.
the heavenly car.
Frick, where did that bastard go?
The mosquito?
Yes, that mosquito.
I don't know.
Well, it flew right at me.
Bastard.
It's probably gonna poke another hole in my face. Gonna turn into a sponge.
This is not a horror podcast.
Okay, we can cut
It is
that.
October.
I listened to that one episode of the Magnus Archives with all the mosquitoes.
Yeah.
That was
Did you
gross.
see that video of mosquitoes exploding?
No, I don't want to. Oh, there you are.
Send that to me. I want to see this.
I'll
No.
go find it later. I'll just send it to you. Don't worry.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So that
I would not make
episode-
something like that.
So
That's a fun blooper. Want to see mosquitoes explode?
I want to know nothing about mosquitoes. I just want them dead.
Okay.
All right, so
Get
here we
out
are.
of
All right. So
my
back to episode 11.
with the peaches.
Okay, good job.